Day afternoons from 3 to 6. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Get up! Get up!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning!
Morning. Good morning.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
We're going to start you up, Mick Jagger. We're ready to rock and roll. Happy hump day, everybody. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. The gang's all here. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham, and a cast of thousands. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together. They got the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo going on right now. It's going on through May 10th. It's a battle of the brands. 7 manufacturers all fighting for your business and all types of great deals. Check it out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Your Wednesday morning, if you're getting up with us, starting out a little bit cool at 54 degrees, going to warm up to about 82 today. Sunshine and a few clouds. So pretty much what we had yesterday weather-wise, and that'll be pretty much the same tomorrow. Friday looks like there's a good chance of rain, although it won't be an all-day rain affair. Could be some thunderstorms as well, but I see that the sunshine is a possibility on Friday. About a 93% chance, though, of precip. Then on Saturday and Sunday, looks like about a 50% chance of precipitation Saturday, but sunshine for a good part of the day. Sunday looks to be nice. A little bit more clouds, about a 25% chance of precip. So all in all, pretty nice weather. Will stay in the low 80s, upper 70s. But again, cool starts to the morning, which I'm not opposed to. Coming up on the program today, we got the NBA playoffs to talk about. Surprise, surprise. More surprises last night in the 3 games that were played. Upsets galore. We will talk about that. We got other NBA news to get into. We'll talk transfer portal. Yesterday came and went, last day for players to jump into the portal. We'll give you the latest as far as the University of Memphis is concerned and some national recruiting as well. Some Major League Baseball we'll talk about, including the reeling Mets who lose once again. We got some college football news and conversations being had in Texas about the future of the college football playoff, where it might end up. DeMichael Cole joins us at 8:05 to talk Grizzlies. Now that we know they have the 16th pick, we still don't know exactly where in the lottery they'll pick, but we know they have 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. We'll talk to DeMichael about options. He's written about that, options they may be looking at for the Grizzlies moving forward and as they get ready for the draft in June. Teresa Walker at 9:05 on the Titans. The NFL draft begins tomorrow with round 1. We'll talk to Teresa about the Titans, what she thinks they'll do. Of course, they got a new staff, new head coach, and Robert Saleh. And also the Super Bowl, with those rumors out there that Nashville will host in 2030. So all that coming up on the program today. Hour 1 is brought to you by the great folks at Old Dominick Distillery at 305 South Front Street. Online at olddominick.com. The distillery bar is fantastic. If you head on downtown for a dinner, a show, whatever the case may be, a sporting event, make sure you top it off with a cocktail from Old Dominick Distillery. The revival began in 2017, but this is 150 years in the making. They got happy hour on Thursdays from 4 to 7. They got 2 events coming up real quick. I'll tell you about that. This has been a rescheduled event. I told you last week about the Old Dominick's crawfish boil. Because of the weather, the forecast last weekend was bad. They have decided to table that until Saturday, May 23rd. That's going to be a good old time with the Risky Whiskey Boys playing and all kinds of great food and drink at Old Dominick. And then coming up on the 24th of this month, so 2 more days from now, Old Dominick Distillery will be at the Memphis Zoo for their Roar and Pour. Again, that's coming up on Saturday, or make that Friday, April 24th. Again, for more information, go online and find out more about them at olddominick.com. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening?
Well, one of the things happened is my Cubs keep beating up on your Phillies.
Phillies have lost 7 straight games. I got my buddy in town who's as rabid a Phillies fan as I am, so he's going crazy. Although he's a huge Eagles fan, so he's concerned about the draft. He's like, we're not doing anything tonight, right? We'll watch the draft. It's like, tomorrow night, round number 1. I said, no, we'll watch the draft. I like watching the draft. He's another one of those nuts that likes watching the draft. So we'll do that. But he's a bigger Eagles fan than he is a Phillies fan. I'm a bigger Phillies fan because baseball is my favorite sport. So I don't know what's going on with the Phillies. The guys that need to be hitting aren't hitting. They're getting inconsistent pitching. Could be worse. Could be the Mets, who've lost 12 in a row.
Could be.
Mendoza, I don't know how he survives this thing if it keeps going.
That's the only way it would be worse.
Yeah, it's bad. So congrats, but it's early. It's early in the season. We're only about 20 or so games into the season. Jay Ham, how are you this lovely Wednesday morning?
Yeah, feeling lovely, I guess.
Are you feeling lovely?
Yeah, watched some good basketball, so it was good for the soul.
Well, I heard you, I don't know if you made a prediction, but I heard you on Harden Show talk about the Rockets-Lakers game, and you said, they asked you for a pick, and you said, well, let me see if Durant's playing. Well, Durant played, and they still lost.
They have no playmaker out on the perimeter, and it's just, he's kind of like, offensively, it's kind of like he's like a man without a country. Sengun he's a good player, but he's not one of those that's you're going to build everything around and just, facilitate through him, not at least yet anyway. They just didn't address a need that they needed all year, and that was when Fred VanVleet went down. They didn't fill that void.
Bigger loss than we thought at the time because you're watching the Rockets during the regular season. You watch them with your eyes. You look at the box score, and you go, oh, they probably have enough there. You combine Reed Shepherd with Amen Thompson and some of these. Nope, it's been exposed in this playoff. Last night, we actually had 3 upsets because the Rockets were favored in L.A. They lose. The Trailblazers beat the Spurs in San Antonio, which is a shocker. The biggest shocker, though, we got to start with, and it's one game. I understand it's a best-of-7 series. This isn't a one-off. Philadelphia, without, again, Joel Embiid, to go into Boston and beat the Celtics by 14 points. VJ Edgecombe gets hurt, comes back into the game, scores 30 points. He becomes, and has, 30 points and was it 10 rebounds?
Yeah, 10 boards.
He's the youngest player to do that in the playoffs since Magic Johnson. And he's the first to do it since Tim Duncan. That's rarefied air. Eli, I did not see that one coming. Again, one game, but good on the Sixers to even that series before they head back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, that nobody possibly saw that coming, but the great equalizer in basketball, especially today, is the three-point shot. And 19 of 39 from three-point range, that can change things for a team. And obviously, Edgecombe was awesome, leading that charge, 6 of 10 from 3 from him. He was ultra efficient in getting the 30 points. Maxey was really good as well. We talked about the stars have to be stars. Especially if you're the big underdog, your guys got to do it. And for the Celtics, Tatum and Brown had pretty good games, but there was just no help really anywhere to be found. And a lot of those guys for them that normally hit threes weren't hitting threes, and that can happen in a hurry. The 3-point shot again is the great equalizer.
Oh, you ain't kidding. 13 of 50 for Boston. 26%. Yeah, they made 13, but as you said, Philly made 6 more at 19. But Philly did it efficiently with 11 less 3-pointers attempted. And as you mentioned, guys that normally hit threes, Derek White, 2 of 10. Tatum, not known so much for 3-point shooting, but he can knock them down, 2 for 8. Sam Hauser's a 3-point shooter, was in the starting lineup, 2 for 8. What did Pritchard do? Pritchard, 0 for 4. Yeah, hard to win when those guys are all struggling from the 3-point line.
Yeah, and they struggle defensively as well.
Probably gets in their head when they're not making shots, right? It affects
that
the
part.
defense.
They were late on a lot of rotations. It was a couple, just great offensive execution by Philly, and making shots can change your whole mood.
Isn't it amazing how that works?
It's amazing how that changes things.
Change everything, because the way that Philly was able to come back and also defend as well. It's like, everybody's energy was up. Andre Drummond giving great energy. Kelly Oubre doing Kelly Oubre type things on the good side. It just turned into good positive. But they only made 4 threes on Sunday, 19 last night. There's your difference.
It's amazing how when you are making shots offensively, you play better
You
defense
play
as
much
well.
better defense. You're
Crazy how
fired
that
up.
happens.
You have that slap the floor moment like Duke likes to have.
I mean, Maxey, you mentioned big game, 29 points, but he adds 9 assists, 4 rebounds. And then Edgecombe, again, the rookie gets 10 rebounds to go along with 30 points, 6 of 10 from 3.
He turned into Andrew Toney in the first half.
Andrew Toney.
I mean, because
22.
he was cooking. The shots that he was making. I think he made like 2 or 3 threes in a row, a couple of floaters, and it reminded me of when Andrew Toney.
Yeah.
When I watched that film back, it was just buckets, and it was happening in Boston.
Blast from the past. Again, Boston is not beaten, or Philadelphia has not beaten Boston since the early 80s in a playoff series. And now that series is even at 1. They will head now to Philadelphia for Friday's game number 3. But that was not the only surprise last night. The Portland Trailblazers go into San Antonio and beat the Spurs 106-103. Now, a couple of things about that game. The Spurs are losing. Wemby goes down with hitting his head on the floor, so concussion protocol, and he's lost for the rest of the game. Soon as he goes out, they go on a run, they take the lead. And even though they didn't have Wemby, I thought, wow, they took the lead, they're at home, they're playing off the energy of the fan base, they're already up 1-0 in the series, they'll probably cruise to a win. Give Portland credit. Every time the Spurs look like they're going to run away with this thing, get the lead up to like 7, they come down, they make a bucket.
They walked it down from 14 with 5 minutes to play.
The Spurs had won 76 straight playoff games with a 14-point fourth quarter lead. It's unbelievable comeback. Again, obviously without Wembanyama, it makes it a little easier. And they got they made some plays. They got some lucky breaks late in that game. The air ball by Williams that went right into the hands of Drew Holiday for the layup. But then the alley-oop dunk from Advia to Williams was just nasty. But I was happy to see Scoot Henderson have that game. I like Scoot Henderson. I loved it. Like when he came in and played against the Hustle when he was with the G League Ignite, you could just see the raw ability there. He certainly is still far from a polished player, but he's starting to figure it out. He's also starting to stay healthy, which helps. But there is a ton of ability there. And if he shoots the basketball like that, then he becomes a real problem because he's a great defender. And then offensively, he's just usually not real efficient, but if he can be efficient like that, he can be a real problem.
Well, I thought they did a great job on Advia. He ended up with 14 points. He was 5 of 13 from the field, but they were really defending him well, so somebody had to step up, and it was Scoot with his 31 points. Never diminished the value of Drew Holiday, the veteran, been there, done that, 16 points. He adds 9 assists. He gets you 5 rebounds, has a couple of blocks and a steal. He did a great job. And the Spurs, they didn't take a ton of threes, but they didn't make a ton of threes, 7 of 24. So they weren't really shooting the outside rock that well. Wemby goes out after 12 minutes. They ended up with Castle going for 18, Fox 17, Vassell at 16, but Thiago Splitter. Give him the full-time job, for goodness sakes. To win the game?
Oh, well, all the off-court stuff with Portland adds a whole different ball of wax right now.
He may not want the full time.
He being getting paid doesn't do it. And so, the whole off-the-court stuff is just, I'm surprised these guys are even able to go out there and figure anything out with all the stuff and jump on trying to tune out some outside noise about your organization and what's going on and what's going to happen in the future and everything else that dealt with. But I mean, this thing now with the Wembanyama situation, now we got
it's a series.
It's certainly a series. He's automatically out 48 hours. Can't do anything for 48 hours. And then he's got to, and now that they don't play again till Friday.
Friday night.
So he theoretically could be back for game 3. But you don't see guys very often clearing concussion protocol that quickly. And the way, I mean, dude, his head smacked the floor. Like that's one of the hardest I've ever seen a guy's head hit the floor, man. That was nasty.
He tried to get up and he was dizzy and had to go back down. He hit it hard, like you said. The only saving grace is that, as you said, they play Friday, which is 3 days, because after that, if the series goes the distance, it's every 2 days that they play. So having this extra day, hopefully for the sake of the Spurs, it benefits them and Wemby could come back. Look, I know Portland won a game. Even with Wemby out, I don't know if they can win the series. I think the Spurs are still a solid team. I don't think the Spurs, without Wemby, are a team that's going to win the West or anything like that. But I think they can still handle the Blazers. But you're right, with everything that's going on, all the distractions. I mean, it started at the beginning of the year with the Chauncey Billups thing. I think Splitter's done a tremendous job. Some of those young players really stepping up, like Scoot. And they brought in, a veteran, Drew Holiday, who's going to help them out a lot. So good for them to get the win last night.
It was kind of funny to see how things kind of neutralized as we expected. If Wemby's not on the floor, that Spurs team is just a good young playoff team.
Yes,
Well,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I honestly don't have, I don't know who wins this series. If he misses 2 or 3 games,
I still think
don't
the
know.
Spurs still win.
Like-
They should, but you were talking the youth factor. We talk a lot of these guys.
like De'Aaron Fox better be awesome if they're going to win the series without him.
You have to, and just as well as Drew Holiday can be awesome and take it away. With those veteran guys.
But they're both young.
Yeah,
Both these teams are
that's
young.
what I'm saying. That the fact that they're both young makes it that much more intriguing.
Could you imagine, though, if last night you bet the 3 underdogs? I mean, they were solid underdogs.
2.
Even the Lakers. You had 2?
I bet 2 of them.
Did you parlay them?
Yeah, and the double-digit favorites with Boston and San Antonio, and both lost. And they both. I think San Antonio was 11.5, and Boston was 14.
So you took the favorites or the
I
dogs?
took the favorites.
Oh, wow.
All right, and I'm thinking, okay, game 2 boat races. We're on the way.
You weren't the only one who thought that.
Of
Believe
course
me,
not.
you were
I
not
know
the
I
only
wouldn't.
one. So we have the upset in Philadelphia. That evens that series. We have the upset in San Antonio, which, again, what do they say? The series doesn't begin until the road team wins the first. Well, we got a series. We got 2 series. And I don't know what's going on with the Rockets, but the Rockets, a favorite. Vegas made them the favorite because they knew Durant was going to play, and he played. KD had 23 points. He also had 9 turnovers. The Lakers did not have Luka Doncic. Of course, Austin Reeves is out. But they have a guy named LeBron James who is still a marvel at what he can do at his age. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. But for the second straight game, a former Grizzly comes through. Game 1, it was Luke Kennard and his 27 points. Last night, it was Marcus Smart and his 25 points and 7 assists. So the Lakers get the win 101-94 despite them being a dog at home, and now they go to Houston with a 2-0 lead.
Well, in both games, it's been both former Grizzlies. I mean, those 2 guys.
That's what I'm
I'm saying they were both great in game 1. They're both great last night. I mean, it's 48 points combined last night between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been the big 3 with LeBron. They've replaced Doncic and Reeves themselves, basically. I mean, Marcus Smart early in that game was incredible with what he was doing defensively, combined with just making 3 after 3, which when he was with the Grizzlies, when he played, he has those games where he just suddenly gets hot as heck from 3-point range. Now the next game he might go 1 for 10. Like, you can very easily go 1 for 10 from 3. You have no idea, but he has those games. Now Kennard, again, for Grizzlies fans, it's just frustrating because he was not that willing to shoot the basketball ever here. But now he's launching like it's nothing, and he's been fantastic. At halftime, when Durant had the 20 in the first half, I was like, if he could just get anybody else to do anything in the second half, they'll win the game. And then Şengün gets going in the second half, and Durant can't do anything in the second half. He ends up scoring, 3 second half points? I mean, it was like the complete turnaround. If you would have told me Şengün was going to have the second half he was going to have, I was like, oh, they will win for sure. And because I was like, well, Marcus Smart won't keep it up, but he did. And then Durant, I don't know, it was, they were running double teams at him early, but he still didn't matter. Like, he just kept hitting shot after shot. And then second half, it was, I think he got 5 field goal attempts the entire second half. It was what they did to him in the second half was crazy.
But the Lakers turned it over only 12 times. Only 12 turnovers in the game. I know Luka, he'll turn the ball over a little bit more than you would hope that he would, but he'd also score you 35, 40 points. So you don't have Luka. You don't have Reeves. The bench for the Lakers, really non-existent. They got 6 points from Jackson Hayes. Bronny played 3 minutes. So basically they played 8 guys. Jared Vanderbilt played 14. Jake LaRavia, another former Grizzly, with 16. And Jackson Hayes with 21. So that put a lot of pressure on LeBron to come through and the other starters. And, you know, LeBron, he's been there and done that. Rui Hachimura, who we know is a Grizzly killer, he's been to postseason a lot. But you got DeAndre Ayton coming in, who only had 6 points and 5 rebounds. So you're not going to win the game just because LeBron goes for 28 and no bench scoring. You need somebody else to step up. And like you talked about, Smart and Kennard combining for 48. So basically you played 8 guys, Bronny 3 minutes again. So technically 9, but really 8. 3 of them former Grizzlies. That's why I'm telling you, when Josh traded, he's going to be healthy as hell. He's going to be an all-star. He's going to come back and he's going to put 40 on Memphis every time he plays them.
That's what I was just about to say. Healthy Grizzlies with the Lakers right now.
Oh, no, that's what I mean.
Sure they're healthy.
If the Grizzlies don't trade Ja, he'll play 12 games next year. There's just something. I don't know. Maybe people are not as superstitious as I am, but there's just something going on. Bring in the witch doctor. Do something. These guys go down. Yeah, and I know Smart's missed a few games since he went to Los Angeles, but come on, man. And like you said, Kennard wouldn't shoot the ball. He's a shooter who wouldn't shoot the ball most of the time with the Grizzlies. And here he is needing his shooting, the Lakers, and they're getting his shooting. 50 points he has scored in 2 games. Unbelievable. So that was an upset, even though the Lakers were playing at home. 3 games last night in the NBA, 3 upsets. Tonight we got 2 games. I don't even know if I'm going to ask you guys about, could there be an upset? Because the last 2 nights have been all upsets, basically. Magic at the Pistons. The Magic already took game 1. The Pistons are an 8.5-point favorite in game 2. And then the Suns and the Thunder. Oklahoma City's a 17.5-point favorite.
That's got to be too many. That's a playoff game. I mean, 17.5 in a playoff game. Again, I know Oklahoma City's awesome, but that, especially when you see what we saw last night, like 17.5 just seems like too many.
You know what you can get on the money line if you take the Suns?
What'd you get?
Plus 1,100.
I can believe it.
I mean, we've had all these series. Well, not all of them, but I know Cleveland's up 2-0, but a lot of these series are 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. There's no way, right? There's no way the Suns are winning. I think they'll cover. Like Eli said, that's too many points. There's no way they're going into Oklahoma City winning that game, right?
There had to be lights out, and a whole lot of stuff for the Oklahoma City Thunder would have to go wrong.
I will genuflect in front of the NBA gods tomorrow morning on the show if they win that game.
They'll take the making 23s, and Oklahoma City has a terrible shooting night.
Terrible shooting night. Dylan Brooks is 15 of 19 as opposed to 5 for 20 like he was through the third quarter on Sunday.
Right.
An act of a series of acts from God.
And then the other one, I think the Pistons will even the series.
I want to believe that, but
I don't know. I would stay away from that game.
A hole got exposed with the Pistons that they don't have that guy that can come off the bench that can create scoring opportunities for others outside of Dennis Jenkins, and he didn't play necessarily that well.
And that size is an issue.
Yeah,
which it did not rear its ugly head for the Pistons during the regular
not just
season.
The size, but then there are skilled big dudes, to go with it. Wendell Carter's a skilled big man.
One other NBA note: the Clutch Player of the Year award was handed out last night, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a runaway winner. Jamal Murray of the Nuggets, who has certainly been clutch in his career, he finished second. Anthony Edwards third. No surprise there, right?
What's crazy is you think about Oklahoma City and you think, well, they all these blowouts, so they don't even play clutch games. But and SGA, he sits out fourth quarter, but
That's a good point.
He still led the league in clutch points. He scored more clutch points than anybody.
How do they identify clutch points?
Clutch situation is within 5 in the last 5 minutes.
Within 5. And I think the 2-possession game within 5
But he's
minutes.
right. How many
Within 5
times
points
have the Thunder been in that situation?
They played. He shockingly enough, he played in 27 clutch games. They had, I think, 34 total, which again is a low total. Again, you're talking within 5 points in the last 5 minutes to have less than half your schedule come down to that. All it's got to do is hit that situation at any point. But he played, I think, in 20. I think it was because I think they went 20-7. They said in the clutch games he played in. But again, he led the league in clutch points, even with that. He shot like 60% or 61%, something like that, in clutch situations.
What's tonight's award?
Tonight is Sixth Man or Most Improved. Which one it is? It's one of the two. Tonight is Sixth Man.
Who do you like for that?
Who do they list as candidates?
Who's the final three?
The final.
Keldon Johnson won?
It's Vassell.
Oh, Vassell.
Where I had those listed somewhere. I don't know who the three finalists are for that.
Okay. Now, Vassell started yesterday for San Antonio. I thought Keldon Johnson was like the sixth man.
What? Maybe I don't. Maybe I had their. Let's see, Sixth Man Award.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot here. While you're looking that up, again, hour number one brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery, producing Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Honeyball, citrus vodka, Formula 10 gin, right there in downtown Memphis at the distillery. And the Distillery Bar, a great place to visit for one of those award-winning craft spirits, maybe before a show, after a show, any kind of event that's going on downtown. You go to dinner downtown, make sure to cap it off with a nightcap at Old Dominick Distillery.
It is Keldon Johnson, then Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jaime Jaquez Jr.
I think Keldon Johnson.
I think Johnson is the overwhelming betting favorite, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll go with Keldon on that one.
All right. We'll take a timeout. Just getting underway on a Wednesday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit Sissy'sLogCabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Call us today.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Cranking it pretty good out here now on 385. Certain sections, though, as you come inbound on Bill Morris, trying to get on that ramp onto 240. Steady flow of traffic continues down out of Fayette County right now. There's been a little bit of radar out there on I-40 just past 269 as it starts to get a little bit heavier southbound Austin P, trying to get on that ramp onto I-40. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems of any kind, no matter how big or small they are, come to Amco Transmissions today with 2 locations here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Raider Corey texted and said, these playoff games are not good for the casual wager fan like myself. It's crazy. I have no idea right now, but I'm doing it again tonight with the Pistons and Thunder money line. If I lose this one, I'll sit out for a while. Listen, betting on the NBA is really hard. It is. I'm not even allowed to do it. So I'm glad. If I was allowed to do it, I wouldn't do it. Not if you want to make money. Betting on the NBA, we know betting's hard to begin with, but
Right.
betting on the NBA is extremely difficult to figure out.
So you can't play anything NBA-wise because of your affiliation with the Grizzlies and the Hustle?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
But yeah, if you're trying to win bets, it's just not. Because again, like you look at how many of these games in the last 2 days where teams had a big fourth quarter lead, or we've had these crazy runs in the fourth quarter. Like you think you've got to bet one, and you end up losing it. I mean, again, the Spurs had won 76 straight games when leading by 14 in the fourth, and they lose. Like there's no way to predict that.
Yeah, I've stayed away from it. I know how tough it is. I mean, Monday night we had 3 games. We had the Hawks upsetting the Knicks. We had the Timberwolves upsetting the Nuggets. So 2 out of the 3 were upsets. Last night they were all upsets, including the Lakers at home. They were an underdog. So out of the last 6 games, 5 dogs have won out of those 6. And again, tonight, if the Suns somehow beat the Thunder, I don't know. I would just lose my mind. 17.5-point favorite, but no way in your right mind you want to put money down and lay 17.5 in a wild NBA playoff game. You just never know. You never know with this stuff. And the Magic, the Pistons, I think that's a tough one too. Because Orlando made them look silly. Jalen Duren, the former Memphis Tiger, has vowed to be more aggressive. I think he only took 4 shots in game number 1. By the way, Kevin Durant with the the Rockets losing last night in Los Angeles. 7 straight playoff losses for KD. His last win, May 7th, 2023. And again, he scored 23, but he turned it over 9 times last night. And I think most people believe when we knew Durant was playing, people stockpiled bets with the Rockets. And Vegas, of course, from the get-go, they thought he was going to play, and that's why that line was what it was. But LeBron, man, LeBron, the ageless wonder, and then it's LeBron and the Grizzliettes, right now with Los Angeles. 3 former Grizzlies.
So as mentioned, the situation with the Trailblazers, and for those that don't know, the new owner, Tom Dundon,
Dun.
who paid $4.5 billion for the team. $4.5 billion for the team.
Peanuts to him.
Has basically come in and cut cost in any way that he possibly can. And one of the things is all of the reporting is he's already talked to talked to 20 candidates for the head coaching job. While he's got a head coach, granted, it is technically an interim.
Who's done a really good job.
He's got him in the playoffs and in a 1-1 series. But he's also, the report is, he only wants to spend like $1 million on a head coach.
Really?
I don't know who the 20 candidates he would have talked to are, but I would assume the response from every one of them would be, get the hell out of here.
Thanks, but no thanks.
$1 million for an NBA head coach? Like, that's ridiculous. But then you hear all of the other stuff and you realize, oh gosh, they are the only team not traveling their 2 ways for the road games, even though they're not eligible to play, but every team takes them on the road for the playoffs. They're a part of your team. He's not doing that. They left their digital reporter at home, left their team photographer at home. They're not going to have, apparently, T-shirts for the fans for the 2 home games coming up.
Jeez.
But my favorite one is that all staff, other than players and coaches on the road, don't get late checkouts at the hotel. They got to check out at 12:30. So they say, at their hotel, you go in there in the afternoon, and there's just team staff everywhere because they've had to check out of their room They're just hanging out in the lobby waiting for like the buses to go to the arena because he won't pay for late checkout for staff. The dude spent $4.5 billion on a team. He doesn't want to pay for a late checkout.
If you are going to spend that type of money to be an owner, a sports owner, and you're going to pinch pennies, I don't understand why you got into the business to begin with.
But apparently he did the same thing when he bought the Hurricanes. And they're like really good now. I don't know. But that's what I read. The Hurricanes are like one of the best teams in hockey. And he apparently did the exact same thing. But like the team masseuse the other night, like didn't have anywhere to work on players.
They didn't give her a table or whatever the case it was.
They didn't give the masseuse a table to do the massages on? Right. Lay down on the floor?
No, I think it was because I think it was because she's out of her room. Because she's staffed. She doesn't get late checkout.
Well, she should have a mobile table
she doesn't have a place to go. So it's like
that's ridiculous.
It's crazy to hear like that a guy with. But and the funny, I mean, for Portland, it's a shock to the system because apparently, like Paul Allen was the exact opposite of that. He spent money on everything. Like he took care of everybody and everything. Like he was absolutely amazing. So now you got this like dude comes in and like, nope, that's no. And I'll be like, it's a.
Where did he come from? Where did he make his money?
He made his. I've
never heard of this guy.
He made his money in, I think auto loans or home loan. I don't know. Loan industry, I believe, is what he did.
Sounds like a shyster.
And I don't know what he paid for the Hurricanes when he bought them, and then came in and cut costs. But when you're paying that much money for a team, right? And then you told people you can't have late checkout, it just doesn't even. But this is my favorite. This tweet somebody tweeted last night. It's hilarious.
It gets better.
You got to think the Blazers are going to be celebrating this win for the entire 31-hour Greyhound ride bus back to Portland.
Because I saw somebody share that same take pretty much, but they used the bus from Major League.
Gosh.
They're like, how can we celebrate this win? Natty Bo. That's all you guys are getting, man.
They used the bus from Major League that Rachel Phelps put the Indians on. So.
I mean, that's that. I mean, hell, if you're not paying for late checkout, he might have them busing from San Antonio to Portland. Who knows, man? It's like, again, and if they want to pay $1 million for a coach, I want to see. Hell, if I'm Tiago Splitter, I don't accept $1 million. Nobody should accept $1 million to coach an NBA team.
Did this guy not understand what the going rate for a coach was when he purchased the team?
I don't think he cared.
My gosh. Hey, did you guys see the NBA 2-minute report from the Knicks-Hawks game from Game 2? I saw this yesterday.
I try to stay away from those because I think they're stupid.
It is stupid because it's like the final 2 minutes. Well, what happened at the 3-minute mark and the 4-minute mark and when they missed 3 calls during the 5 minutes?
I need a 48-minute report.
I want to see those reports, but probably they take too long to put together. So they came up with 2 errors, 2 big errors that happened in the final 2 minutes. When Brunson hit the 3 to pull to within 1, remember we talked about this yesterday and I said that was an illegal screen. They looked back at it. It was an illegal screen. That's why he got so open. They should have called it an illegal screen. They did not. Now, some people would say, let the kids play. All right, it was a hard screen. So what? Let them play. But if it's an illegal moving screen, you need to call that. The other one was there was a lane violation on one of the C.J. McCollum missed free throws. So both went against.
There's a lane violation on just about every free throw shot in the NBA.
Especially when the shooter kind of delays, like hesitates.
They literally could call a lane violation on every free throw. Yeah,
but the point being is both were against the Hawks, but they still won the game. And so I was reading where like it would have been a big deal yesterday if they had lost that game, but because they won the game, they didn't make it a big deal. But like you said, J-Ham, these 2-minute reports, you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, they missed 6 calls in the last 2 minutes?
Like, is this supposed to make anybody feel better after reading it?
No, I don't even get why they do that. I don't get. As long to me is I don't care. It would be nice if everything came out in the open and you found out about everything from voting on Hall of Famers. And I know now I think they're releasing that a little bit, but especially with this kind of stuff, I would love the transparency. But if it's no transparency, that's fine as long as the officials are held to a standard, just like players are held to a standard or coaches are held to a standard. That if you're messing up consistently, you're not getting the prime plum assignments. That it affects you in the wallet, it affects you in stature. We don't need to know about it as long as that's being taken care of. And I would think it is behind closed doors. I would think it's being taken care of. Okay, so from the NBA to college basketball and the portal. The portal is now closed. Do they put an actual lock, like a big padlock on the portal? Is that what happens?
With a fresh alarm code and everything.
Exactly. So yesterday was the deadline. Players jumped in. The big guy from Florida is coming back. Was it Hawk?
Dude, Florida's keeping everybody. The Chinyalu is still up in the air, but
Condon's back.
They may have that entire front line back with Hawk, Condon, and Chinyalu. Chinyalu did not go in the portal. He's doing the NBA stuff, but he's not in the portal. So if he does not go NBA, he's coming back. They got Aberdeen back after he had left and went to Kentucky. He's coming back for next year. You've got Fland and you've got
Lee.
No, the kid off the bench, the shooter off the bench. Like they're basically they're going to have most of last year's team, plus adding Aberdeen back, who was with the national championship team the year before.
Wow.
Like Florida, but then of course Duke, like Florida and Duke right now look so awesome. I mean, they're going to be the two overwhelming favorites going into the year.
Yeah.
And Michigan's also really good. So Michigan, depending on, they still got to wait on Mara, a couple of things, but there might be like 3 or 4 teams that you just look at and go, like, seriously, how does anybody beat those 4 teams?
Right. Well, Michigan, obviously, they lose Lendeborg to the NBA, and UConn loses Caravan, and they lose Solo Ball to injury. So they're getting guys back, strong players, but they are not getting the amount of players and the higher percentage of players that Florida's getting back and Duke's getting back, like you said. But as we talked about yesterday with the whole thing with Billy Donovan, by the way, nothing new materialized from the Billy Donovan thing. I'm still wondering, like,
they put out a statement. They all put out he put out a statement, team put out a statement, everybody else.
Okay, but what did he say? Is he retiring?
No.
Okay. All right. So obviously he had enough of what's going on with the Chicago
as he
organization.
said, it would be in his, after their discussions, it would be, as I said when it first happened, when they gave it would be dumb for them to go hire a whole new front office and make them have a head coach.
It is stupid. It is stupid.
And so he said, like,
but it's his job.
It would be better for them to have a fresh start with that, and all's good.
Well, we were talking yesterday about Steve Kerr. We don't know yet. Draymond Green thinks he's probably going to step down. I know that we've heard the Warriors front office would want Steve Kerr to sign a multi-year deal. Maybe he wants to coach another year. It doesn't look like that'll happen, but who knows? Maybe they'll give in to a guy who's had so much success. But let's say he's gone. We were talking about the name that popped up right away was Todd Golden, which is interesting about all these Florida guys coming back. What happened if Kerr stepped down? They hired Golden. With these Florida guys, like, they would have a chance to go to another school. They wouldn't be going to the NBA, but they'd have a chance to go to another school. So I think that's probably a long shot. But what about if Kerr steps down? Why, if you're Golden State, when you reach out to Billy Donovan?
Wouldn't be a bad call. I mean, a phone call don't hurt anything.
No, not at all.
Check his temperature, see what he wants to do. I even think mentioned yesterday the possibility of him going back to Gainesville.
And then, yeah, right. And then I heard on the national show coming in, they were talking about Chicago should look into bringing back Thibodeau, who had success there. They have not had a lot of success in the last decade, but when Thibodeau was a coach, they had some decent success there.
The only thing with it is that Tibb is not too big on young players. And
I was going to say, that's a very young players. Yeah, that's the whole team. That's all it is.
And the same really with Kerr. Kerr don't really try to do too much with young players like that either. But,
right.
That's
what was left. That was what was left for you.
Right.
I mean, I think, like, Donovan can he may very well want to take a year off after dealing with the headaches and mess that Chicago is, and then he could get pretty much any college job that he wants. any NBA job. I mean, again, he hasn't had a whole lot of success in the NBA. He's had a little bit of success. He did in Oklahoma City. But at the college level, there's people that automatically bring up Kentucky. If Mark Pope has another bad year next year, he's out. Billy Donovan started his coaching career there, could walk. He could get that job in a heartbeat. I'm sure Kentucky would hire him.
With big names, whether it be in college, football, basketball, or NBA, NFL, so on and so forth, how often, I wonder what the percentage is of the big names, and we'd have to, I guess define what the big names are, that step down for a year or even get fired. How many of them, after sitting out a year, go back to coaching? Some stay out of it. Some retire, some get into broadcasting.
And then some that do that, and then they come back a while after they do that.
Oh, that's happened. Well, as long as they work at ESPN, then they get a gig. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes you have a lot of money, you sit out a year. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're enjoying going to play golf and not worrying about the anxiety that comes along with being a coach.
And he didn't, like Eli mentioned, he didn't have a ton of success in the NBA, but he was one game away from an NBA final.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that, and as well as coaching the Final Four in the same decade.
But when the story came out about the GM and that they were going, like Billy Donovan was going to be the coach, whoever the GM is going to be, they're already going to have their head coach. They weren't going to be able to hire their own head coach. I said, and look, I know he had a lot of success in college, back-to-back national championships. But I'm the one who brought up on this panel about, look at Billy Donovan's record in the NBA. It's not like it's phenomenal, but for some reason they love him in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And it was him, not them telling him, there's the door. It was him saying, I'm going through that door because I don't like what's going on. He made the decision. But how often does he won in Chicago? His record's under 500.
And I think we mentioned this one yesterday as well. You could revisit from that first time where he almost, made that cross into the NBA. He almost was the coach of the Orlando Magic.
That's right.
Yeah, that one could be open again too. So
that's right. I mean, there's a few openings, and who knows, there might be a few more coming up. All right, we'll talk portal news when we return. Got some basketball news to talk about with the Memphis Tigers. What's going on with them? And then at 8:05, more basketball as DeMichael Cole will join us from the Commercial Appeal. Speaking of basketball, take your skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis with 2 locations, one in Collierville, one in Cordova. It's a revolutionary basketball training facility. I mean, cutting-edge technology. Plus the gamification. You're going to be having fun while getting better. It provides instant, objective feedback. When you step into one of these shooting bays, you're going to find out what you're doing on every single shot with the arc and the depth, and the numbers are right there. Again, the analytics are right there for you, but you're also going to have the one-on-one expert coaching. They have coaches that have coached at every single level, from high school to college, even the NBA. In Cordova, the 50,000 square foot facility, 2 NBA regulation size courts, 3 high school size courts, 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. They host AAU events. They also host coaching clinics, which are free. So coaches out there want to get involved? Just find out when the next one is being offered by contacting Shoot 360 Memphis. In Collierville, they're located on 85 Market Street. That number is 901-316-5500. In Cordova, Big Orange Road, 901-779-3176. Call, set up a tour, check out the facilities, and then join, because you could join for a month, and that's it. You're only in for a month. If you don't like it after it's all said and done, no harm, no foul. I'm telling you, though, I'm going to guarantee you're going to fall in love with it. You're a basketball player, boy, girl, man, woman, whatever the case may be. I don't care what your age is. You like shooting basketballs, you're going to enjoy doing so at Shoot 360 Memphis. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I saw some reviews on that Michael movie. Not good. I'm still going to see it. Got to see it. But the reviews have not been great, not been kind to the folks producing that Michael movie. From the transfer portal, the Memphis Tigers extremely busy, although nothing has happened this week as far as a player committing to the University of Memphis, according to several reports that have been out there the last couple of days. Yesterday, Memphis hosted Northwestern point guard Jaden Reed, as they are still in search of a point guard. Also, Tylik Weeks from Southern Miss visited earlier this week. Good scorer, being courted by Ole Miss as well. He's visited Ole Miss among several other schools. And then, according to Jason Munns, today, Cornelius Williams from North Alabama, 6'9" forward, big-time rebounder, will visit Memphis. You know, it used to be the days before NIL, which weren't that long ago. It's not one of those. You know, when I was a little kid, there used to be something before NIL. Well, it wasn't that long ago. That, first of all, Memphis wouldn't even look at a guy from North Alabama. But if they did, that dude would be like, sign me up. Penny Hardaway's the coach, sign me up. Now it's like, maybe Memphis will be good enough to get the guy from North Alabama after he visits. And, we'll see what, even battles with Ole Miss. Yeah, Memphis will win those battles. Man, the days and times have changed. That's what you're looking at. You're trying to get the best of the rest But that's the latest as far as Memphis. Maybe we'll find out something this week that they'll be adding to what they've already brought in, which we know includes 2 holdovers from last year, 3 freshmen, and is it 2 or 3 players that they've signed so far? Eli Cummings?
3.
3. So that's 8. So again, if they go to the max, that's 7 more players. But right now, those 8 players, you look at and you go, okay, it's a start, but far from the finish line. As they got to get some bigs, they got to get a point guard, and they're working diligently to try to do that. In the meantime, the rich get richer nationally, those who have the money. And the kid from Iowa, who was huge in the tournament, had the big 3 against Florida, Alvaro Fulgueras, 6'10 forward, and a former Horizon League Player of the Year before he went to Iowa, is heading to Louisville. Louisville has cashed in during this portal period. Louisville is getting some big players and spending a lot of money. We've heard Indiana's doing great, Louisville's doing great. Some of the others that you would expect are cashing in as well. But my gosh, Louisville, another big hit for them through the portal.
Yeah, they've they've got Badunga, who was a big one, and they've got the kid Shellstad from Oregon. You know, the ACC as a whole. Louisville's doing well. Miami's done very well in the portal. North Carolina now has picked it up in the portal. They've added some big time additions out of the portal. Again, Duke, and they got Blackwell from Wisconsin and a couple of other good portal hits, plus guys they've got coming back and freshmen they've got coming in. But yeah, the ACC overall has done pretty well so far in the portal, but Louisville certainly is probably at the top of that group as far as that is concerned in the ACC.
Yeah, Michael Malone's starting to bring in some players for North Carolina. Got a couple in yesterday, but lost a coach. Kim English will not be heading to North Carolina as an assistant. Kim English, the former head coach at Providence and a couple other places, I believe. I can't remember the other places off the top of my head, but he is a former head coach who was going to join that staff along with Chucky Martin and a couple others. So he'll be in search of another assistant coach to add. But they're doing well now as far as the recruiting is concerned. Also, yesterday, John Blackwell, 3rd team Big Ten selection, all Big Ten guy from Wisconsin, heading to Duke. You know, you feel for Duke, right? You just feel they never get players. And it's good to see that they have gotten a very good player in the portal. Nice to feel real good for Duke. Something for the little guys. And then we were talking about North Carolina. One of the players they picked up from the American Conference, they picked up a center/forward, Maxime Logue from Florida Atlantic. He only averaged 5 points and 3 rebounds. And they probably overpaid the guy. But that's what they're doing when they're looking for bodies, especially if they're looking for big bodies. And who takes the brunt of this? The smaller conferences. Florida Atlantic has lost several players now. Vanderpool, they lost him. South Florida has lost some key players. Tulane, obviously, losing Brumball. That's why people look at Memphis and go, okay, well, Memphis lost some players too. Well, yeah, but some by design, but others on their own accord. But they will more than likely replenish, you would think. And that's why Memphis goes in every year as basically being the favorite. But it didn't pay off last year. It didn't work out last year. But these other schools right now, I mean, they're reeling, trying to find players. And you said the one guy from, was it UTSA or North Texas that stayed, that didn't go in the portal?
North Texas is the one, they've got an all-conference player who has announced he is returning to North Texas. He's the only one of the 3-team all-conference selections from the American that will be back at his school.
Very, very rare to be able to keep, even for Memphis now, very rare to be able to keep players that are all-conference performers if they have any eligibility remaining.
And I don't, again, there may be some players in that are listed as seniors who have eligibility remaining. I don't know. Everybody seems to be fighting for another year of eligibility, whether you've played 6 or 7 years at this point.
Did you see the Antoine Jones story from yesterday?
I don't even understand the stuff anymore. But if you played college sports and you haven't transferred and haven't sued the NCAA for extra eligibility, I don't believe you've actually played college sports.
Antoine Jones, remember him with the Memphis Tigers? I actually like the guy. He's played for, I think, 37 schools.
Right. They're giving him credit for 8.
Right. They're trying to give him his 8th year, or he's trying to get his 8th year. He probably won't, but I say probably.
I don't even know.
We've seen other weird stuff happen.
I get it. Lawyers are lawyers, and they'll take whatever. But, I don't even know how you go argue for a kid to have an 8th year of college eligibility. I don't care what's happened to him. I don't know how you possibly can go argue with a straight face that a kid deserves an 8th year of eligibility to play college basketball.
Well, if they implement, and you're right, but if they implement that new rule, here's the thing: the 5 for 5, and you got to be 19 or starting your senior year, whatever the case may be. But those deals will probably be taken to court as well. Somebody will argue that's unconstitutional, that shouldn't happen. But yeah, when I saw the Antoine Jones story yesterday, I thought it was an Onion story. I was like, really? That guy? I mean, his first year was in the Hoover administration. I don't even get that. All right, we'll take a break. Hour 1 in the books. When we come back to Michael Cole, where are the Grizzlies going to go? We know they're going to pick 16th. We know they got a lottery pick as well. We know they'll pick 32nd overall. What are the possibilities? He wrote about it in the Commercial Appeal. We'll talk to DeMichael Cole about that to open up Hour 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's golf time. What's my first thought? Miramichi. Of course, Miramichi. Sometimes you need just to escape the hustle and bustle of life, and that's exactly what Miramichi will provide. It means the place of happy retreat, and I promise you, it lives up to its name. While it might not be in the heart of Shelby County, it's certainly worth the drive. It's 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis. Once you arrive at the front door, you know you're going to get an experience unlike any other public golf course in town. Let's start with practice facilities. Not all are created equal, and you will find none better than those at Miramichi. The range is an impressive 12-acre space. It allows you to spread out and practice for those long drives. They got a great short game place. They've got a chipping green. They've got a putting green. They're beyond compare. You want to get better? You go to Miramichi. You want a great competitive golf course? You go to Miramichi. It's worth the drive. I love it. Miramichi.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Running a business is hard enough, but cleaning a business? Your time's too valuable for that. You need Hilo Commercial Services, dedicated professional cleaners with 15 years of cleaning experience. Hilo customizes your cleaning needs, and you get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. Shopping center, retail spaces, medical, legal offices, Hilo cleans it all. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That is MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for Hilo Commercial Services.
Volkswagen Driver Days is going strong, and Gossett Volkswagen's got you covered on the pike. Get out here right now and get sporty 2026 Jetta S. We Gossett now just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. How about 2026 Tiguan S? We Gossett $269 a month. Yes, $269 a month for Tiguan S. And if you're looking for performance, style, and technology, look no further than 2026 Atlas SE. We Gossett at $319 a month. Or get 0% for 60 months available. You ready for a new ride? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettBWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease. Jetta TM 005137, MSRP 25820. Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32585. Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A heavier traffic volume just in the last few minutes over here, pretty much on schedule. I-40 coming past Sam Cooper, right there at the 240 flyover as that traffic cranks up pretty good now, and more volume down I-40. Anywhere you're traveling between Germantown Parkway down to Sycamore View Road, 385 Bill Morris Parkway, also busier than it was there coming past Riverdale. Hey, the low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic coming up again on June 6th at the Shelby County Humane Society. Check out the animals that are available for adoption today. MemphisHumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Back, everyone. 8:05 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. DeMichael Cole will join us next. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Jay Ham with you on this Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. They got the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo going on now through May 10th. Check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 58 degrees. It's going to get up to 82 today, sunshine and a few clouds. Tomorrow, pretty similar. Friday, chance of some thunderstorms with a high of 77. Then Saturday and Sunday looks to be pretty good, although there is the chance of some precip over the weekend. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Been a part of the Memphis fabric for 60 years, 6 decades, serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners with those beautiful diamond engagement rings, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, but all their great jewelry, from watches for both men and women to earrings and necklaces and bracelets and pendants. They have the birthstones every month. If you're looking for an opal, you're looking for a ruby, they have it for you. Man, variety is what they have at James Gaddis Jewelers. If you're looking to get a resetting, a refitting, you need a cleaning of your jewelry, just bring it over to James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full service jewelers, ready to serve you each and every day. When it comes to those diamond engagement rings, they know there's a lot of competition. They make sure there's a price point to suit everyone's budget. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. So when you're looking for some jewelry, you're looking for that diamond engagement ring, you're looking for a watch or whatever the case may be, make sure James Gaddis Jewelers is the jeweler you check out at 4900 Poplar, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They're open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. James Gaddis Jewelers, second hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Time now for DeMichael Cole.
It's time to talk University of Memphis baseball with Tigers head coach Matt Reiser.
Well, that isn't right.
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
Now that is absolutely correct. He is DeMichael Cole, the outstanding Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, the co-host of the Locked On Grizz podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. And I guess today, DeMichael, you take over duties of Matt Reiser. You're now also the baseball coach of the University of Memphis. How are you?
How you doing, guys? You know, I can talk a little bit about curveballs and all that. We can talk a little baseball. I might be better with the pros, but we can talk baseball for sure.
You are well-rounded, my friend. Of course, in August, you'll cover golf for the Commercial Appeal with the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He is more than basketball, but you are an expert with the Grizzlies and the NBA, and we want to get your thoughts. I know you just wrote about possibilities for the draft. We got a little bit more understanding of what's going to happen with the Grizzlies, but not the puzzle's not complete. We'll know on May 10th. Talk about that in a second. But what do you think of the Grizzlies West? What do you think of the Lakers with what Marcus Smart and with what Luke Kennard's doing? Of course, LaRavia is part of their rotation. 3 former Grizzlies helping the Lakers get out to a 2-0 lead on the Rockets.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, and just puts things in perspective for you. We never got to see Marcus Smart kind of healthy, right, over the course of his time in Memphis, and he's really kind of found a defined role with the Lakers in terms of, the defense. Teams are leaving him open. Like, he made 5 3-pointers, but he played 62 games this season.
Yeah.
In 2 seasons with the Grizzlies, Ja Morant played 39 games. I mean, not Ja Morant, excuse me, Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart played 39 games with the Grizzlies over those 2 years. And even if you consider the time in Washington, I think it was 54 games over those 2 seasons. So he played more in L.A. this 1 year than he played the last couple years. And then you factor in the fact that Luke Kennard, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how, wow, the Lakers are the first team to use Luke Kennard the right way, so to speak. And, he's definitely in a really good role. I mean, you've seen over 20 points in both games against Houston. He's playing heavy minutes. And I remember, in Memphis, when the one playoff series that Luke Kennard got to be a part of against the Lakers, before OKC and all that, but when they played the Lakers, I just specifically remember in that situation, a lot of those games towards the end, Luke Kennard wouldn't be in the game.
Right.
And we would talk about it with Taylor Jenkins, and part of the problem was, LeBron James and those guys were going at, Ja Morant, Desmond Bane a little bit, and they didn't want to take Dillon off the floor and with his defensive, ability, and put in Luke Kennard, even though he would have added offense. So it's just a different situation. It's different personnel, but yeah, it is interesting seeing those guys kind of have that success. Luke Kennard played 78 games this season. Again, I think he played 65 with the Grizzlies last year, so he was, decently healthy. But these guys have been available. These guys have taken their game to another level, and they've really kind of flourished.
And LaRavia played all 82. But the thing was Smart that it's when the Grizzlies acquired him, it was a playoff, obviously very playoff tested veteran. You knew what he could do in the postseason. That's kind of what you hoped out of him. We see him now in these 2 games, what he's doing in the postseason. But with the Grizzlies, we never got to see him in the postseason. So the way you kind of acquired him for, he never was able to do here.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that veteran who, when you got to that point of the season, could be reliable, it could be dependable. But yeah, it never materialized. I actually thought in his first season in Memphis, he was pretty solid, probably playing, some of the better overall, basketball of his career. I remember, I think he was averaging around 14 points. He was averaging a career high in points that year. And granted, he played some of those games that first year, there was no Ja on the floor, so it's a different role. But you saw kind of the idea a little bit. And especially when the Grizzlies were healthy. I think it was the January game against the Lakers where Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Marcus Smart all had over 20 points. And it looked like, a recipe. It looked like something that could work. But yeah, it never materialized.
Yeah, the 23-24 season, again, he didn't play a whole lot. But he averaged 14.5 points per game with the Grizzlies. So like
that's the
that's his career high. That's the most he ever averaged in any with anybody in any season. So like he played well, but yeah, just would have been nice to have one postseason with Marcus Smart.
Yeah, it would have been, but because when you subbed out Dylan Brooks for Marcus Smart, part of the reason was you still wanted to have the high level defense, which we see that Marcus Smart, in Memphis, there was the idea of did he regress a little bit? He take a step back, he turned the page into being an older player and whatnot, but he's been close to a second team all defense type of player defensively this season. He's really taken it back up a level with his playmaking on the defensive end, with his ability. I think his IQ kind of matches up with LeBron James a little bit. I saw LeBron talking about the nonverbal communication that the two can have, and things like that. And that was something that always appealed, when watching Marcus Smart is, the IQ and his vocal ability. It's all going to be there. But you really never got to see, that stuff materialize, and it was a questionable fit in Memphis the entire time because the Grizzlies already had, Desmond Bane and John Morant in the backcourt. So kind of morphing Marcus Smart into this wing. It was kind of questionable, but I think definitely the Lakers are more suited to use his skill set. Whereas you got Luke Kennard out there, but Luke Kennard's still 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
It's not like the John Morant, Desmond Bane backcourt.
Well, no use crying over spilled milk. Let's move forward, and that's what the Grizzlies will do, and there's a lot of things that have to be done. You wrote about possibilities for the draft. We found out that the Grizzlies will pick 16th in the first round via Phoenix. We know they have a lottery pick. We just don't know where they'll pick. And we know they got a pick in the second round, early in the second round at number 32. So give us a little synopsis about what you wrote about, maybe some possibilities with certainly everything on the table for the Grizzlies this offseason.
Yeah, I call this offseason the tone setter, guys. If you want to say, hey, we're turning the page, we're going to a new era, you need, kind of that tone-setting offseason. Every team that has had a rebuild has had that. If you look at the OKC situation, that tone setter really came, either you can say when they made that big trade, when they traded away Paul George, and they ended up getting, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and all those picks.
Mm-hmm.
Partly that became, Jalen Williams and some other guys here. But that was the first example that popped in my mind. But a lot of things have happened, in order for that franchise to be successful.
How long did it take them? How long did that take them to go from rebuild to maybe not necessarily where they are now, but to competitive? How many years?
I think about 3 because the thing was, they were, when they had Chris Paul there, they sneaked into the playoffs. That 1 year very early on. I think that was the 2019-20 season. But then they had a couple years in between. They had a couple bad seasons. Then they had the 40-win year where they missed the playoffs, and then after that they jumped. So yeah, you basically had 3 years in there with no playoff appearances, and then you had before that obviously the first round exit when Chris Paul came for that 1 year and kind of took them to another level. So yeah, you're talking about a 3-year process, probably 4-year. I think ideally you want it to be 3 because I've always been of the opinion you want to build a winner before you have to start paying guys on those second contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And because there has to be certainty that comes with that. And now if you look back on it, it wasn't the case at the time, but if you look back on it now, there wasn't as much certainty came when the Grizzlies gave all these guys those second contracts, which is why they got traded on them, which is why Dez got traded on his. Jaren got traded on his third, but it was the first year of his third contract, and Giles on his second contract right now, potentially going to be traded. So I think, when you have guys on that second contract, the urgency goes up. But yeah, this is the tone setting off season. This off season, you're looking for, a guy. a guy who can galvanize the fan base, a guy who can, be, kind of one of your big pieces, for this next era. But you need a high draft pick, for all that to work out too.
You wrote about the 4 point guards, and if they don't move up into the top 4, that's the group that they're going to be looking at in all likelihood, is that group of 4 point guards. Is there one of those 4 that you think fits what they do the best?
Man, it's interesting that you put it that way, because when you talk about fits, what they do, I think about just what the Grizzlies want and all of that good stuff. The guy would probably be Kinston Fleming. I wrote about how he might offer the safest floor of the 4 guys, and the 4 guys are Kinston Fleming, Michael Brown Jr., Darius Acuff Jr., and then Keaton Wagler. Those 4. But Kinston Fleming is already, a superb defender, which is important to the Grizzlies. They're entering an era. They don't want guys out there being picked on for long periods of time. They want guys who can defend. They want the toolsy guys. And Kinston Fleming, of those 4, he's probably the best example of that. Darius Acuff is the guy who probably has the most gaudy stats. He's the Calipari point guard. He has the Reebok deal. He's that guy that probably galvanizes the fan base.
Yes, he would electrify the fan base. Mm-hmm. No question.
Exactly.
But he's the worst defender.
Right.
He's the worst defender by a mile. So there is that part of that. Michael Brown Jr. has probably the most injury questions, and there's some upside there, but there's that whole thing. And then, of course, with Wagler, he's the one guy of the 4 who wasn't even projected to be here.
Yeah.
He played his way into it. So it's like the tools naturally are kind of meh. The shot making is superb with him. I definitely think the shot making can translate, but at the same time, defensively, I'm not expecting him to be, this sound, superb defender. So Fleming is the one guy that gives you, that two-way potential that the Grizzlies are kind of craving with these guys.
Not that you have any of the inside information just yet, but do you think there's a possibility that they identify one of those top 4 guys and look to move up using maybe the 32nd pick and their pick in the lottery? I think maybe it's too much to go lottery and 16, but if they identify, let's say it's Boozer, do you think that they'd be willing to do that? What's your best guess?
If they want to move into the top 4, they're definitely going to have to package either 16 or another future first.
Okay, so 32 and 32 in the lottery, moving up. That's not going to do it.
Not this year. Not this year. It's to the top 4. Like if you end up at 8 and you want to get up to 6, maybe. But to go from 6 to 4 or 6 to 3, you're going to have to throw probably a future. Now you can protect it, or like you could use the second first. But yeah, that top 4 is just so well regarded. It's gonna take a nice price to get in there. That's why the lottery is going to be so important.
Well, more than likely, odds will tell you that they'll probably either stay at 6 or drop to 7, maybe 8. God forbid they drop down further than that. And I know there's only they can go only to 10, right? They can drop down to as far as 10.
Yeah, 10 is the lowest, but
that'd be horrible. That would be 10 would be a horrible position, because we talk about those point guards that you wrote about, and we talk about those first 4 guys. So you'd be out of the mix for everybody. But let's say they land 7 or 8, and they get one of those point guards, and they don't make any trade. Do you think it's 16 now instead of best player available? We always have that debate, best player available versus need. That now you have to go into the realm of a big because of the uncertainty of Zach Edey?
You got to draft a big this year.
Okay.
I think you got to draft a big, and part of it is that. Part of it is the uncertainty of Zach Edey, and part of it is you just need big. Like, even when Zach Edey played, the idea of downsizing as much as Memphis did, not even from just a height standpoint, but from a physicality standpoint, it was different. And you look at what Isola wants, with the screening, with the rim running, with his bigs. You need a guy who can be impactful in that area. And quite frankly, you don't want Santi Aldama setting all those screens. You don't want Jaren Jackson Jr. setting all those screens. You need like a Reed out of UConn, Mara, maybe out of Michigan. I thought Patrick Mbrongba out of Duke would have been a solid option. But he's going back. Yeah, exactly. So I think, with the situation that they're in, they're definitely going to need another big. One is an insurance policy for Edey, as you kind of alluded to, but two, they just don't have the physicality in the front court right now to match these other teams. Like you look at, the Timberwolves, they have the ability to play it however you want to play it. Like, you want to play some small ball and stretch the floor a little bit. Okay, we can bring Naz Reid in. But if you want to have Jokic try to play bully ball all game, we got a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year for you.
Right.
So you need that versatility, but also you just have to be able to match the physicality of these teams, because you don't want to be in a situation where Zach Edey's in foul trouble and the opponent's saying, okay, they're food now. We can rebound, get all the rebounds. And so many times, this season was a great example of it. But you go look at the 11 games that Zach Edey played, Grizzlies are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. You go look at the games he didn't play, they're one of the worst. And that was kind of the case to a lesser degree his rookie season. And you got to be able to kind of close that gap a little bit. So, I think pick 16, pick 32, both have a couple options that you'll be able to kind of, dissect through, and we'll see, what the next, couple months will workouts and stuff looks like. But I think you've got to draft a big.
Part of the problem is the number of guys that are going back to college, and bigs are getting overpaid in college. So they're the ones, a lot of them are going to stay. We just saw Hawk yesterday from Florida as a guy, but and Florida's keeping content, they're keeping their guys. You mentioned Gromba from Duke, a lot of these guys who are projected in that mid to late first round are thinking, I can get overpaid for one more year of college as a big and then be a top 10 pick next year. So that number 16 pick seems to on a daily basis lose a little bit of its value as another guy who might be in that range stays in college.
Yeah, and what I've taken from it more than anything, guys, is it's not the fact that the Grizzlies would have drafted any of those players. I didn't mock or expect, Thomas Hall, or even Patrick Mbrongba, he was a good kind of backup plan, but and Braylon Mullins, I didn't expect any of those guys to be primary options per se for the Grizzlies. But again, you're taking away from the depth of the class.
Yeah, exactly.
So some of the guys that may be primary options now might not be available. So it's a situation where there's a depth issue. I brought it up on my podcast this morning, the idea of potentially trading the pick and trading down, because what you're seeing, at least early on, and of course, like I said, you're going to have combine workouts, you're going to have help, the physicals and things like that. So there are going to be some things that we learn and that kind of shift the board a little bit. But I think when you look at it in a gist, when you get to the board from 15 to 25, there's not a huge talent gap there. So if you're at 16 and you're saying we like 3 guys here, I'm sure someone's going to want to trade up. And boom, you could add, future assets. Maybe add a couple second-round picks. So, and that's another big thing for me. That first year, stockpile assets, because you put yourself in a situation where either one, when you get competitive, you could just go cash in all the chips. We've seen teams do that. Brooklyn did that before. It didn't work out, but they did it. And then 2, you could put yourself in a position to, even when you build that winner, that championship contender, you still have, these high picks coming in, which is what OKC has right now. So, it's kind of 2 ways you can play it, but I think you definitely should be stockpiling all the assets you can get right now.
I think that's great. I think you're right on with that. We're completely out of time, but I do want to pick your brain next week on And again, this is looking into a crystal ball. We don't know what's happening. We expect Ja to be traded. You know, will they let Brandon Clark go? But is there a free agent out there that makes sense under their financial structure that they could pick up? I know free agents don't readily make themselves available to Memphis, but, you know, maybe something that could be brewing down the road, depending on what else happens with this team and the transactions that are made. So we'll pick your brain on that and other things, DeMichael, next week. He is DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal, the Grizzlies beat writer, and all-around great guy, also co-host of the Locked On Grizz podcast with Joe Mullinax. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at DeMichael C and listen to him every Thursday, or make that every Wednesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Great stuff, as always, DeMichael. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, guys.
You too. Yeah, I wonder if there's somebody out there from a big standpoint. I'm not talking about they're not getting the best guys out there, the most expensive guys out there, but I don't know what the financial structure is right now, where they stand, and maybe free agency is the way to go. Who knows? Maybe they can get somebody there. We'll take a break. We'll come back halfway through on this Wednesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I got him on the line out there in Gossip Volkswagen Germantown. Hey, Marty McNate, what's going on?
I've got some big news. Volkswagen Driver Days is going on at Gossip Volkswagen Germantown.
And I hear you've got some incredible deals happening right now.
You heard right, Randy. I got 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month.
$277 a month for Jetta. Hey, what else you got?
How about 2026 Taos S, $327 a month.
$327 a month for Taos S, and I hear you got a Tiguan deal out of this world.
2026 Tiguan S, $355 a month.
Well, it sounds like you got something for everyone.
Come see me, Marty McNate, at Gossip Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at gossipvwg.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
36 month lease, Jetta S at 104,280, MSRP 26,426, Taos S at 061,622, MSRP 27,011, Jetta TM 5137, MSRP 25,820, Taos S TM 108,191, MSRP 29,101, Tiguan TM 14510, MSRP 32,585, includes all rebate and SPF 895, excludes tax on license with approved credit. See the complete details. Offering score 3026, deemed stock only.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Heavier traffic volume in the last few minutes over here on 240 in both directions up by Mill Branch. It continues to build up from the south there on 55 as you work your way up through DeSoto County here into Shelby County all the way up to Brooks and Elvis Presley there on 55 going northbound with that steady flow of traffic. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions today with 2 area Memphis locations. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:34 the time. The NFL draft begins tomorrow. Round 1 on Thursday, rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday. I was looking at the story during the break from USA Today. They did a story where they had 5 different AI chatbots to predict the first round of the NFL draft. They used Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, Grok, Meta AI, and ChatGPT to come up with their selections. They did all right. The bots did okay. First player selected, unanimous, Fernando Mendoza, Indiana going to the Raiders. Then it got a little interesting with the second pick overall, which the New York Jets own. Now, three bots went with Arvell Reese from Ohio State. Good chance he gets picked. I know David Bailey's been mentioned, and I'm not 100% sure it'll be Reese, but 3 out of the 5 say Reese. Okay. Microsoft Copilot goes Jeremiah Love. Now, the New York Jets have done some weird things in the past. I know Jeremiah Love has a chance to be a really good player. I don't think the Jets are taking him at number 2. I don't think that's the case.
I would not think so.
But the worst is ChatGPT, because they think the New York Jets are going with a player that is not even in the draft. Oregon's Dante Moore. That would be right up the alley of the Jets. Remember the one time the Jets couldn't get their pick in time? I mean, things like that. So, yeah, that ain't going to work out. Then the Arizona Cardinals with the 3rd pick. There's one for David Bailey. Makes sense. There's one for Caleb Downs. He can go that early. There's one for Ruben Bain. Maybe a little early for him. And then there's 2 for Francis Moinoa from Miami, the offensive tackle. I'm not going to read these all, but just, you get the idea about the bots. The Titans have the 4th pick, and we'll be talking with Teresa Walker from the Associated Press at 9:05 about the Titans. This one's interesting because a lot of talk has been Jeremiah Love. And so 3 of the bots have Jeremiah Love going to Tennessee. One has Arvell Reese. Obviously, that was one of the bots who did not have Reese going 2nd. And then the 5th is Caden Proctor from Alabama. Proctor is really interesting, Eli. Offensive lineman over the years for Alabama. Numerous first-round picks. High selections. Wasn't a great year for Alabama. But Proctor, who is definitely going to be picked in the first round, I have seen Proctor, and I'm not even talking the bots, I'm talking the humans and their mock drafts. I've seen Proctor anywhere from 4, 5, 6 to 24, 25. I don't understand. What is the issue with Proctor?
Well, he's a bit of a freak, obviously, with his size and athleticism, but he also he didn't have a great year. So you're looking at the just 6'7", 350 monster, but also some of the game films going to tell you that maybe it doesn't project as well, I think, is probably the biggest question. Some will question that, and others will just say, listen, 6'7", 350, and he ran, what did he run? I remember what it was, the 40 that he ran, and there's be like, freaks that big and that athletic, we will figure out a way to make them really good at this level.
Yeah. Yeah, you're rolling the dice sometimes with the offensive lineman, but it's understandable why you would take somebody like that. A lot of them have lived up to those expectations. Others have fizzled, but I think that's the same with every position. But offensive lineman and taking an offensive lineman that early, especially tackles, makes sense. Makes sense, especially if you're okay in the department of edge rushers, because this is a heavy edge rushing first round possibility. You're talking about, I think there could be 6 to 8 edge rushers taken in the first round. And if you already are set, you got your quarterback, your edge rushers, and you're trying to help that offensive line, Proctor makes sense. I can't tell you specifically every team that he makes sense for. And this one again with the Titans, but I don't see the Titans doing that.
They need offensive line help. That's for sure. You want to make sure you are protecting your massive investment from last year in Cam Ward. So, they obviously the Titans need a lot. Titans need plenty. They need stuff. They need help everywhere. That's why a lot of people would say that them going for Jeremiah Love doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, yes, he helps Cam Ward in the backfield, but you got Cam Ward, you got Jeremiah Love, but if you have nobody to block, if your offensive line is terrible, what good does it do to have a great quarterback and a great running back with no offensive line to block for them? So, they could go a lot of different directions. They need help just about everywhere, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They need to get help for Cam Ward basically everywhere.
Yes, but if you've identified Jeremiah Love as this absolute game-breaking star, future stud running back, and we know with running backs, their shelf life is not that long, but some have broken out of the pack to become those superstars. If you feel that that's the guy, then even though you need help on the offensive line, certainly for the quarterback, but for the running backs as well, but if you got a guy that can change the game, then you have to go with that guy. And if that's the way, and again, we'll talk to Teresa about that, but if that's the way you think, then you're going to go with that running back. But if not, like I said, never a bad thing to go with the offensive lineman.
But you also, with the Titans, you have to understand too, how much say does Robert Saleh have in the draft, being a defensive guy, as you mentioned, with all of the edge rushers that are available, and the Titans need that. Is that going to be where he wants to go? Because he looks at that and says, he looks number one at the defense and says, we need a lot of help there. We could get one of these big time edge rushers.
Yes. Well, that's the yin and yang, right? That's the tug of war you have with staffs. These are big staffs, but the buck stops with Saleh. Dayball's there now. I'm sure he'd love Jeremiah Love, but Saleh is a defensive guy. Doesn't mean, though, that he doesn't think we need an electric running back. If he doesn't think that Tony Pollard is the guy this upcoming season in 2026, that they need to move to another guy, a younger running back. Not that Pollard's old. Pollard is a solid running back, but he's not. I think his better days probably behind him. Solid, good catching running back out of the backfield, good hands. But Jeremiah Love, if you think he's that star, then you go with Jeremiah Love.
Today over at East Coast Wings and Grill, it's Essential Worker Wednesday for you construction workers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC contractors. That's 20% off on Essential Worker Wednesday. Plus, kids eat free on Wednesdays. That's from 3 p.m. to close. Kids 10 and under eat free with the purchase of an adult entree, so you can take advantage of that. Of course, you got happy hour from 3:30 to 6:30. That's every Monday through Friday you could take advantage of that great deal over East Coast Wings and Grill. All kinds of great food to enjoy for lunch, for dinner, during happy hour, whenever. Of course, also plenty of good drinks to enjoy and always great action on the TVs with Major League Baseball, with the NBA playoffs continuing, of course, over the next few days, starting tomorrow with the NFL draft. You can watch it all up at East Coast Wings and Grill while enjoying some of that great food and great drinks as well. Located in Bartlett, just off Highway 64, right between the Lowe's and the Walmart there of Highway 64. Great food, great place to watch the action. East Coast Wings and Grill.
If I remember correctly, last year in the 25 draft, there were no Tigers taken, right? Memphis Tigers.
Don't remember, honestly.
I don't think there was. This year, there's the possibility, I think a strong possibility, that Travis Burke is being selected. But there could be a couple of offensive linemen from the Tigers that are selected in the draft. I don't think you're going to see that happen on Thursday or Friday, but certainly I think there's that possibility. And, of course, locally, Jake Golday, friend of the show, is a guy that's projected to be second day, more than likely second round. The stud out of the University of Cincinnati and Arlington High School. So that's one of the local guys we'll be keeping an eye on with the draft. When we come back, college football, they're having some meetings down in Texas. Not going to happen this weekend, but the conversation again about playoff expansion is going on. We will discuss that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey Memphis, Kayla Clement from Memphis Softball. You work hard for your money, so choose a financial team that works just as hard for you. Southern Security Credit Union offers great rates, personal service, and a local touch you can trust. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of the Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, the IFCJ, looks after those in need, particularly in Israel and in Ukraine. Individuals like Esther, an 84-year-old Jewish woman living in Israel. She lives her days in fear with sirens sounding and long stretches spent in a bomb shelter.
She receives no help from others, no food deliveries, no medical care, but because of friends like you, Esther's not alone. Through the fellowship, you are there bringing food, meeting urgent needs, and reminding Jewish people like Esther, you are not forgotten.
In times of fear and uncertainty, your compassion brings hope and help. The IFCJ brings us together to help one another, Christians and Jews. In doing so, you're doing a good deed. The fellowship uses your donations wisely, maximizing on its value to provide comfort to those in need.
Call 888-488-IFCJ right now. That's 888-488-IFCJ, or go to ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Today is day 2 of the College Football Playoff Governance Committee meetings in Dallas, Texas. That's the 10 FBS conference commissioners and Notre Dame's athletic director, Pete Bavacqua. It's their spring meetings, annual meetings. But the committee obviously has a big topic in front of them, and that's the future of the college football playoff, which once again will stand at 12 teams going into the 2026 season. But for me, I don't even know why you invite everybody. Just invite Tony Bettini, Mike Slive, not Mike Slive, excuse me.
Don't invite him.
No, don't invite Mike Slive. He's passed.
He will not make it.
Sankey, and put him in a room and let him slug it out. It comes down to those two. So, yeah, it's nice to have the commissioner of the MAC there. It's nice to have our friend Tim Pernetti from the American Conference. But really, this comes down to the Big Ten and the battle versus the SEC about the future. That's why they had to settle on keeping 12, because they couldn't come to a conclusion. The Big Ten wants more. The SEC, they want 24. The SEC, I think, would settle on 16. They couldn't even settle on that. There's going to be more teams in the playoff. That's a certainty. Whether it's 16 or 24, I have no idea. But, again, it's nice to have all these other guys, these other commissioners, and Pete Bavacqua there. But what say do they have in reality?
Very little. But they're also, I mean, they're not just talking about, like,
right, there's other
Ross
topics.
Dellinger talked about, like, the expansion is part of a very big agenda that they, like, it's a small part where they might talk about expansion. They may not. They've got other stuff that they're worried about.
It is not a small part. I mean, it may not be, like I said, they're not going to change anything this week as far as that's concerned. We know who eventually will get this changed, if it changes at all. Those two guys, Sankey and Petiti. But it's still an important topic moving forward. It's a financial boon for everybody, and it's still maybe squeezing out the little guy. Who knows? I think the group of now 6 with the Pac-12, or whatever they're calling it, coming back into existence, not as a power conference, I think they'll still be a player. But even if it expands to 24, are they going to continue to have one seat? Is that the way it's going to be? But here's a head coach. This is Kyle Whittingham. This is Chris Lowe's story. Kyle Whittingham, who's now at Michigan, right? Was at Utah. On the playoff, he said 16 is the right number. This is just one person's opinion. But only in a super conference structure where you govern yourselves. The NCAA is not involved. We have our own commissioner. That's, again, one man's thoughts, one head coach's opinion, but people have talked about that, going down that road. The NCAA already is not powerful when it comes to college football. We understand that. And they're saying to have that, we've heard those rumblings as well, having some sort of grand poobah leading the way in college football.
The interesting thing about this is Ross Dellinger in his story talked about there is a 14-person White House subcommittee.
Right.
That includes the commissioners of the Power Four conferences and the American. Pernetti is the other commissioner that is on that.
Really?
Notre Dame's athletic director is there. You've got the you got ESPN and Fox executives. You've got Cody Campbell that's part of that. You've got some other big
Really?
time,
Cody Campbell's part of that?
You got some other big time millionaire, billionaire people from the business world that are a part of it.
Who from the White House? Is there somebody from politics that's involved?
I think there may be one or two. I'm not even sure.
Okay.
And they are having discussions, and apparently out of that committee, they believe that one of the task, I guess, they've been wanting to do is figure out ways to make more money for some of these universities who are struggling with the new costs and everything else. And so what he said, there is a lot of support out of that committee, which again includes these commissioners, for going to 24. Now, he did say that notably Greg Sankey was not on the call for the meeting last week.
Shocking.
And I think
nor Mike Slide, by the way.
I think the ESPN executive may not have been a part of it, but one of the things he talked about is that
ESPN wants it, right? They want the expansion.
They don't want 24, according to what he said. They're hesitant on 24.
Okay.
They're already pushing games to TNT. I don't know that they necessarily want.
Fox, Fox wants them. That's what it is. It was Fox, the Fox CEO.
But it's as he said that 3 of the 4 power conference commissioners and Notre Dame all either expressed outright support for 24 or the willingness to do a thorough examination of going to 24 like that. So this committee again, and apparently all of the guys outside of the conferences, like the billionaires and stuff that are in the room, they seem to all want to go to 24.
And I assume Pernetti too.
So I have no idea if he did not mention him one way or another as far as that is concerned.
Can you imagine he's in that room, he's like, hey, I'm over here too. Shut up, sit in the corner.
But yeah, so you've got that went on last week, and they will continue, I guess, to meet. I don't know. But he also talked about the fact that within the SEC, there is more and more support for going to 24 amongst coaches, amongst ADs, for going to 24 as well. So
makes sense.
It looks more and more like 24 is going to end up being the number. They've just got to figure out. Their thing that they're talking about is doing the top 8 get the bye, the first 2 rounds on campus, then going to the bowl games, all of that stuff. Part of it will become the TV situation. How do they do the bidding on the extra games? Is that how is that done? All of these things, but as he talks about, it seems more and more just around the college football world. It seems more and more people are on board with going to 24, along with what the Big Ten, which the Big Ten obviously was the one that wanted that to begin with.
Why has Sankey been apprehensive?
I don't know. I think he probably doesn't want to get rid of the SEC championship game, and if you're at 24, the SEC championship game makes no sense whatsoever.
Right, but coaches and ADs have come out publicly, some of them, and have said, get rid of it. I mean, you go to 24, there's going to be more teams, and there's going to be more teams coming out of the SEC that'll be in the playoff.
I mean, you'd have to ask Greg Sankey that. I don't know, but I'm sure he's got his
Jan,
reasons.
get Greg Sankey on the line right now, please. Please, can you do that for us? The other thing is, okay, Pernetti included is good. Throw the American a bone. Throw the group of 6 a bone. But do they get 2 slots if it goes to 24? What are we talking about here? I wonder how that fits in. Is it still just the one lone survivor?
I think at the 24, it's just going to come down to the top 24 in the rankings. If you're the top 24 of the rankings, you're going.
Well, if that's the case over the last several years, the group of 5, now to be group of 6, has landed a couple of those teams in the top 25 when it's all said and done.
And
maybe they can get multiple teams. Who knows?
I would guess that with that, it will be the highest, but again, it will be top 24. If there isn't a group of 6 team ranked in the top 24, then I guess they would get the 24th spot at least to make them happy. I don't know, but yeah, like with the 24 team model, it is just the top 24 ranked teams, because there's not conference championship games to decide conference champions or anything like that. So it's just the top 24 in the rankings.
It's still pretty wild, J-Ham. You have these meetings and, invite all the commissioners. And, of course, Notre Dame. Make sure it's a gold table that the AD of Notre Dame is sitting at, a little bit far away from everybody else, because we have to make sure that we have a spotlight that's right on that Notre Dame guy. Make sure that everything that happens, and make sure Notre Dame's there, and make sure Notre Dame's here, and make sure Stop it.
They are the most powerful school. It's not even close. I've said that all along. They don't make special rules.
I'm tongue-in-cheek.
They don't give them the benefit of the doubt like you say they do. But they are the most powerful school, and it's not even close.
And it should.
They have the same power as every other conference.
It shouldn't be that way. How they made a monster out of them is beyond me. I don't get it. I just don't understand it.
You're going to walk out of that parking lot one day about 10:05, and it's going to be about 100 leprechauns looking for you.
And you know what? I have a lot of friends that are Notre Dame alums, or they root for Notre Dame and all that. I went to a game there. Fantastic. Nothing like being in South Bend. Everything was great. It cracks me up. It just cracks me up. It's like, it just seems like it's special treatment. It's like, join a conference, for goodness sakes. Join a freaking conference. Stop it. But we have our own network. I understand you have your own. We're the most powerful school. Yeah, we have the Pope on our side. I get it. I understand it. But come on, guys. Corky's, I understand that. For lunch, for dinner, Corky's. Anytime's a good time for Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. One of the great barbecue joints in the Mid-South, in the entire South, in the country. Let's be honest here. Because you can send Corky's anywhere in the country. All you have to do is head over to the website or stop by and have Corky's shipped wherever you want it to be shipped. And, of course, as far as delivered Corky's barbecue, yes, they can deliver it to your home or office. It's a set price at Corky's. I think it's $3.99. Meanwhile, you could have any of the other services, the DoorDashes of the world, delivered to your home or office. So when you're thinking about lunch today at work, Corky sounds good, or dinner. You're going to bring dinner home to the family? How about Corky's? Go through the no-contact drive-through. They got 4 locations: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. The Q, the ribs, outstanding. Slow smoked barbecue. The cheese and sausage plate. How about a starter? You can get the barbecue nachos as well. That'll fill you up right there. But they have other things outside the barbecue family. Award-winning catfish plate, tamales, burgers. They have great salads as well. Fantastic desserts. It is Corky's, and if you got an event coming up, you want it catered, they can do that for you, starting as low as $7.99 per person. They got lunch specials every day, party packs that start at just $7.49. You can't beat it. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. We're talking to the Hall of Famer Teresa Walker when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Here's something you don't see every day. It's a full-on brawl at Family Leisure. Oh, yeah. There's a battle of the brands happening right now through May the 10th, with 7 different manufacturers all fighting it out for your business. Listen to this opening blow. Hot tubs starting at $34.99. Ouch! Then followed up with a mean right hook of swim spas starting at $16,999. That's a starting price. There are so many deals right now at Family Leisure, and the prices are just too low for me to even mention on the radio. One thing I can tell you, if you stop by Family Leisure and tell them you heard this on the radio, you're going to get a free cover lift with your spa purchase. But you better hurry in before all these great deals get knocked out. Technically, this is called the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo, but we're calling it the Battle of the Brands, happening now through May 10th at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Let me ask you something. I bet it's Central Barbecue related. It is Central Barbecue related. Shoot. You don't want me to ask you a Central Barbecue related question? No, I mean shoot as in go ahead and ask. Oh, you can be very confusing. Ask your question. Which one of Central Barbecue's sauces is your favorite? That's a trick question because, Central Barbecue's slogan is smoke is our sauce, so you don't really even need a sauce. Other than smoke, what's your favorite sauce? I can't do all of them all. Mild, hot, mustard, vinegar, hot vinegar, sweet heat, all of them. And that is how you make a Central Barbecue radio commercial.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. As that volume of traffic increases even more out here in the Midtown area, right on schedule on 240 north up by Lamar. It's heavy but moving down. 240 over here around Mill Branch Airways. Still building up from the south on 55 coming up through parts of DeSoto County. You might want to watch your speedometer. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions today. You'll be glad you did with 2 locations here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning!
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:06 the time. Hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. They got the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo going on right now through May 10th. Check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. 61 degrees currently. It's going to get up to 82 today. Sunshine and a few clouds, but all in all, a very nice day. Same deal tomorrow. Then the possibility of some thunderstorms on Friday, but not an all-day affair, but about a 90% chance of precip. The weekend looking better with each passing day, about a 55% chance of some rain on a Saturday, but otherwise it should be fairly sunny, at least partly sunny over the weekend. Teresa Walker joins us in just a moment. Real quick, though, let me put Eli on the spot. Eli, we're talking draft here. 26 years ago today, something happened that was big for you. 26 years ago today, and it had to do with the draft.
So in the year 2000? Or yeah, I have no idea.
This can't be right, though. This is not right. Now that I think about it, it says 26 years ago the Cowboys drafted Emmitt Smith, and the rest is history. It wasn't 26 years ago.
It was that
36 years ago.
It's 36, right? Yeah, that's a mistake. But 8-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I bring that up because that is Eli Savoy's favorite player of all time, Mr. Emmitt Smith. And this is one of our favorite guests of all time, the Hall of Famer, Tennessee sports writer, Hall of Famer, covers pro football, but everything else. She is Teresa Walker. You can follow on Twitter as well. Teresa, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good because all the talk about drafts, possible trades, who's your team going to get, we're almost in the home stretch. Tomorrow night, those questions are about to end. Although somebody said, ooh, the mock drafts will come to an end, and it's like, no. Somebody on Sunday will have a mock draft for 2027. Just wait and watch and see. Even though we have no clue what is going to happen, but at least one batch will be done, and that I cannot wait for.
Yeah, it just won't be Teresa doing it, the 5-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year. Again, on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker. Please follow her today. Teresa, got a lot to talk about and a couple things even outside of the draft. But let me start with the news from the other day that we heard in Rumorville, and I'm sure you're hearing it as well. Dan Patrick had this tidbit on his show that the Tennessee Titans, the city of Nashville, will be hosting the Super Bowl in 2030. What are you hearing?
Well, let's put it this way. He said what's kind of been an unexpected thing. I mean, the commissioner was here in November when they put the last piece of steel up into the new Nissan Stadium, and he said, they saw the NFL.
Oh, what happened? She went out. You got to get her back on the line. Did the commissioner get on? Did he just shoot Teresa Walker because she was given some information about the Super Bowl? Did Roger Goodell do something here? I'm worried here. We got Teresa back on. What happened? Let me bring Teresa back on. Teresa, you with us?
I am, and I'll just try to pick up where I was. The NFL announced in March that Vegas was going to host 2029. I thought maybe 29 might be a chance for the Titans to host in the new Nissan Stadium. Guys, the new stadium will be done in February. I mean, it is on target. It is going, a 3-year build, and it will be ready easily for the 2027 season. But the issue is, the Tennessee Performing Arts Center has plans to put a place very near, and there is going to be some construction going around the east bank of around the stadium. So 2030 has kind of always made sense for Nashville getting a Super Bowl. And the commissioner in November said, we saw in 2019 what Nashville does. They just need the stage, and he kind of literally pointed behind him at the new stadium. So it's been a foregone conclusion, just waiting for the formal announcement. The controlling owner, Amy Adams Strunk, she made a presentation on the status of, what the stadium was looking like, what it was going to be, their plans. Guys, I have toured it now 3 times. It is incredibly impressive what is going on over there. And, once it's done, I think people are going to be stunned at just how pretty this is. I've been at SoFi, which has got the same similar roofing system, but it's an open stadium. I think, there was a football game a year ago where it was raining and you had fans slipping because they didn't think about the elements affecting SoFi Stadium. This place is going to be closed in with lots of bar area. It's going to, and for there have been a lot of people worried, there's not enough seating. It's only 60,000. They've got tons of room for standing room only. And with all the bars and premier areas they've got in that place, they've got a stage that's the equivalent of the Ryman Auditorium in one end zone. So they are prepared for parties. And, so it's just, Dan Patrick, it's like, I checked with my sources, nothing's signed. The only people who can truly approve anything are the NFL owners. And no, they have not signed anything yet. Maybe the proposal's been signed, but they've been pitching and making clear Nashville wants a Super Bowl with this stadium, well before the shovels first went in the ground.
Sure.
What's the talk of when they might get a Final Four? I know the Final Four sites, I think, are out through 2031 right now. Do they believe they'll be getting one soon after that?
Absolutely, Eli, because, again, they put together a committee with some heavy hitters 2 to 3 years ago. It was announced during the NHL draft that was held in Nashville, and they are absolutely big game hunting for that stadium and Final Fours, college football playoffs, semifinals, championship game. I mean, they are big game hunting for events to put in that stadium. You know, for all the people, and I've had a lot fill my feed saying, well, they're in Nashville. They should have an open, air stadium. And it's like, you make money with a closed roof because people don't want to be hot. They don't want to be cold. They want to be comfortable when they're spending a lot of money. And that's what the Titans in Nashville and the state of Tennessee are building.
Just to be exact here, so is it a dome that opens, or is it just a dome stadium?
It is an enclosed stadium, Greg. It's a translucent roof system that is similar to what is at Vegas and SoFi. The difference from SoFi is that it's got 2 layers, but so you'll get some light through, and they've got tons of windows all around that place. But no, the Titans president, I was there, asked him why not a roof that opens, and he said, we checked. The people who have systems that will open up the roof, they only open them up like 3% of the time. Yeah. That's a ton of extra money to spend just for 3%. Right. I mean, do you really want a convertible if you're not running around with it open all the time?
Good point.
There's no doubt. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, because it's not like it's one thing like when it's like raining or whatever, but people don't want to be hot or cold. Like they want the temperature perfect at all times.
72 degrees.
When you have the ability to do that, it's dumb not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Eli, and that's the thing. I've got tickets to the current Nissan Stadium in August, Foo Fighters concert. I saw the Stones there in August. You will absolutely melt in Nashville in the summer when you go to an event outside.
Right.
And guess what? With the new place, I really wish the Foo were coming next year so I could be comfortable and not sweat my tuchus off.
No, you're absolutely right. So speaking of that, before we talk draft, everything I heard about Bridgestone and what they're going to do to Bridgestone is incredible, the renovations. But, Teresa, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, the ownership is fronting the bill for all the renovations, or at least most of them?
Essentially, yes, because they got a contract and they worked a deal so that they've got control of that arena. And that allows them to do what they're doing. And they've got it's a $750 million project that they're going to be doing over a period of time. Bridgestone Arena has been one of the biggest and busiest buildings in the entire country because the way they keep concerts and events coming in and out of that building around the Predators season, and they are going to be doing some good things to it. And for a building that opened in '98, well, for sports, I can't wait until they actually do some things to the press box and make it an actual press box. So it is truly amazing what they're doing. But it's part of the plan. The contract that they were able to work with the Nashville, I think it was 2019. But this is allowing them to do this, and the plans that they've got, they're going to be totally reworking the portion that faces Broadway and Fifth Avenue, and they've got an incredible Fifth and Broadway, the Assembly Food Hall and everything across the street. It's where the original Nashville Convention Center was, and this is going to try to match that energy. And then eventually they want to put a hotel in there as well. And it's like they're going to be reworked. In 10 years, you're not going to recognize that place.
So a novel concept here. Ownership of the Predators putting in their dollars for the arena refurbishment and renovations. And then with the Titans, how much of it is Strunk putting money in?
She put in a bunch. $2.2 billion project. $1.1 billion is coming from taxpayers, state of Tennessee and Nashville. The other $1.1 billion is coming from the Amy Adams Strunk, the Adams family, and combined with help from the NFL. I have not seen a specific number on that, Greg, but I know that the family was selling off pieces of Bud Adams' estate to help raise the money for this, because not only did they kick in, and maybe a number might be 600 to 700 billion, but she also footed the entire tab to essentially double the team's headquarters and practice facility. And, she did that before they put the shovels in the ground for the new stadium. So, she has absolutely ponied up, her family has ponied up a ton of money investing into the team, even as they went to taxpayers for help on the new stadium.
Kind of interesting here in Memphis, as you know. We have an owner
There's
that's
a billionaire, right?
He's donated a Clark Bar, I think, so far for refurbishment and renovations at FedEx Forum. It's just great. It just blows my mind, but I don't want to go down that avenue again. That's great for Nashville. That's great with the ownership being as hands-on as they are. Teresa Walker joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Teresa, the Hall of Fame writer, Tennessee Associated Press, the Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, 5 different times. You can follow her on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker. All right. Is it going to be Jeremiah Love with the 4th overall pick?
Well, I thought so. That's who I took. Jim Wyatt selected all the local folks, what we thought, and I took Jeremiah Love because, here's the thing. At some point, the team that spent the most money in free agency this offseason were the Titans, and most of it went on defense. The biggest name on offense was Wan'Dale Robinson, the wide receiver from the Giants. They had a couple of veteran offensive linemen, tight end or two, nobody that really blew your socks off. And, yes, I know that they have Tony Pollard, but maybe you trade Tony Pollard, to somebody who could use a running back. Maybe you go with both of them in the backfield and shed somebody else. But you would think that helping Cam Ward in his second season with his 6 different offensive coordinators since he went to college would be a good thing. But, man, there's a lot of chatter about Arizona maybe taking Love at 3, and with the Jets and Dallas both having multiple picks. Let's not forget the Giants as well with their trade. Do they try to trade down and add more picks, get a first next year? So that's why I can't wait until the pick is in tomorrow night, because either way, whether it's Arvell Reese, a guy who the GM raved about last week, that he couldn't come up with a comparison because of the way this kid tested at the combine, et cetera. And I remember the effects that a Javon Curse had when people were like, well, wait a minute, he does everything incredible. He's just a freak, and what he did for that team. But, I also know what Billy Cannon, Earl Campbell, Eddie George, Chris Johnson, and then some guy named Derrick Henry did for this team. So that's why I lean running back in Jeremiah Love. So, but the good thing is they're on the clock tomorrow night. Guys, the good thing, if this new GM, and I was doing some prep work the other day, and it's like, man, Titans have really cycled through them lately, right? But Mike Berganzi's rookie class last year, all but one really contributed to this team's starts, performance, beyond Cam Ward. He had 4th-rounders in Gunnar Helm and Alec Iamaner and Chin DK. So if he can replicate that this year in addition to the spending, then the NFL rewards you when you make good decisions. And let's not forget, whole new coaching staff with Robert Saleh, Brian Dable as the OC, and Gus Bradley helping on defense. You can get right in a hurry. And, we've seen them penalized the last 4 years for the bad decisions. So I'm curious to see what he puts together because, running back isn't exactly at the top of the shopping list.
Right.
Edge rusher, cornerback, more linebacker help, offensive line, another wide receiver. Those are all on the needs list still. But running back, if you can get a guy who is a generational kind of running back, kind of have to do it when you're picking this high because you hope you're not picking in the top 10 for a long time.
You mentioned that a lot of the free agent money spent on the defensive side, which is no surprise when you bring in a defensive coach like Saleh. How much say will Saleh have in the draft pick, in the draft process for, obviously Berganzi's making the decision, but how much say do you think Saleh has in this?
Well, that's a great question, Eli, because that's the one thing that's unknown. Now, Mike Berganzi said last week, when you're the GM, you've got to pick players. You can't just take somebody that you absolutely love that the coach is not, fully on board with or, because it never works out. I mean, there was a lot of speculation when Jeff Fisher was the coach of the Titans and Vince Young was Bud Adams' guy. He told everybody, BY is my guy. And there was so much speculation and that, that Jeff Fisher wasn't helping Vince be his best. And having been around and covered Vince, that wasn't the problem, but that perception was impossible to fight. And, at event, sometimes you wonder, does the player actually buy into that? Because they're hearing it from somebody close to them.
Sure.
So you do, and so what Bonganzi said is you do want to get players that the coach can work with. I'll just say this, if you've got a defense that's giving the ball back to your offense, a great running back helps your offense actually stay on the field, which helps your defense, right?
Yeah. I could certainly see that, but I could also see with some of these edge rushers where Salah's like, boy, I like those edge rushers, and I would really like to have one of those guys.
Well, I guarantee you those battles happen every year within every war room, because especially when you have Daboll, who's a former head coach. You said Gus Bradley. I didn't even know he was on that staff. He's a former head coach. But you have guys like Saleh, who's a defensive-minded guy. Daboll, I'm not saying there's going to be a tug of war. The buck stops, I guess, with Saleh being the head coach. But Daboll wants weapons too. And what you said earlier is what I said earlier in our show about Love. If he's a generational type running back, you have to take him, but you also have to get more help on that offensive line for Cam Ward. And with having 8 picks between the 2nd and 7th rounds, they have a lot of opportunities here. So, Teresa, is that if they do go Jeremiah Love, do you think early 2nd, 3rd round they're going to concentrate on the offensive line?
Well, they did bring in an Austin Schlotman, and there's another guy that I can't remember his name right now, and they've got Jackson Slater, who was the 1 draft pick last year, who didn't do much. He did appear in a game, but they want to give him a chance at center as well. So I do think they add at least 1 or 2 players on the offensive line. But guess what? I'm thinking cornerback, because they still need some help there, even though they signed 3 in free agency, and they need more depth there. They need edge rusher. Man, if Arvell Reese is sitting there, tough not to put a cherry on that defense right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
But yeah, offensive line will get at least 1, maybe 2 in this draft, because but keep this in mind: right guard Kevin Zeitler hasn't signed with anybody that I've seen just yet, and he wants to play another year. So maybe you get through the draft and you're like, you know what? Let's bring in Kevin Zeitler, and we're going to let these other guys compete for center, and then we'll address right guard next year. You cannot fill every hole on a 3-14 team in one off.
That's right.
We were discussing that earlier.
If there's a lot of help they need, then it's one draft. It's hard to do that.
You just want to see vast. You just want to see vast improvement. Like, nobody expects the Titans to be a playoff team this upcoming year, but if you see the improvement and they can win 6-7 games, that's a major step with a new staff and obviously a lot of new players. But I think certainly they're moving in the right direction with some of the moves they've made in the offseason. It's going to be interesting. Everything's going to be interesting in Nashville with everything that's going on. And Teresa has you covered, of course, at the Associated Press. Follow her on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker, the Hall of Famer, the 5-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, who will be very busy the next 3 days with the NFL Draft. She is Teresa Walker. Always great to have you on, Teresa. Have fun the next 3 days.
Oh, watching Twitter. And guys, for a reminder of what the war rooms can look like, remember how Vrabel reacted to the trade of A.J. Brown?
Oh, yeah.
He may get him back this summer. So hang on to your hats. Let's watch those in-room feeds the next 3 days.
Absolutely. Thanks, Teresa.
Bye, guys.
Speaking of Mike Vrabel, did you see that yesterday? He spoke to the press, spoke to the media. What did you get out of that? That maybe something did happen?
I got that he said a lot of words without saying anything, much like her statement when she put it out.
So J-Ham, do we read between the lines here?
I do.
Do you think something happened?
I think something happened because their actions are showing that something happened.
They both deny it, but he didn't he just said a bunch of words. He just kept talking, and at the end, you literally said nothing other than you're going to keep it all private.
But he said I had to have difficult talks over the Rossini photos, difficult conversations. If you're having conversations with your wife and family over something that didn't happen, why would you do that?
Because something did happen.
Well, anytime you're
happened.
Those pictures, whether something.
Well, then you just say, honey, that's not true.
Well, they don't always believe that.
Well, what are you going to do?
They are different. When you're in those pictures, there's going to be a difficult conversation with your wife one way or another.
Well, but it doesn't matter if you do a soliloquy for an hour. I mean, she still might not believe you. But it's like
that's why it's a difficult conversation.
Well, again, they're either going to believe you or not. You're not going to change your tone if you're either guilty or not guilty. But when I don't know. I mean, the way he said it, I'm thinking that maybe something did happen. And at first, I didn't really think that was true.
I'm gonna take it for what he showed us. We got a resignation from her and difficult conversations with his family members and loved ones about that whole incident. Something didn't sit right with somebody.
Do you remember? I think Eli may have been off when I said, if you're Diana Rossini and you didn't do crap, then you scream from the mountaintops. I will sue you. You fire me. Then nothing happened, man. We're friends. You saw a picture of us. Nothing happened, man. Nothing. But she didn't do that. She resigned.
There's smoke. There's obviously
exactly.
some fire.
That's why I think something happened.
His statement, neither one of them, like, it makes you say, okay, like, if this is the route you're going, if Mike Vrabel truly didn't do anything, he'd stand up there and say, listen, you guys have made a big deal about something. There's nothing there, and I didn't do anything whatsoever wrong. We happen to be there, whatever. But when you just stand up there and talk and then say, I'm going to keep all of that private, whatever, well, you look guilty.
How about the woman that came out, also a media member, and ripped Rossini, and then she got fired? I forget her name. She ripped Rossini and others, saying that, like, this is not the first time, and that some of these women have done that to get stories or what have you. And, I mean, I forget her name, some blonde hair, I don't know if she's a writer or podcaster or whatever. Man, oh, man. And then her outlet fired her.
Because she's blowing it up for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, it's not a good look.
It's a messy world out here.
It is not a good look because, unfortunately, there are people out there that believe, you slept your way up to the top.
And they thrive on messy.
Right.
They will push
and it's a double standard. They don't look at the men that way, but they look at it with the women. And it's sad because of all the hardworking women that have gotten to where they are because of the hard work.
Well, even I thought about it in that same market. And I understand the different, dynamics that come with it, but Ime Udoka didn't survive that. Right there in the same Boston area market where Mike Vrabel will continue to just, fresh off the Super Bowl, keep coaching. Just like Ime was fresh off the finals.
Was Udoka's with a person that worked within the organization?
Yes, that's what it was.
That's probably why, right? It's against the rules and regulations, I would imagine. Okay, we'll take a break. Before we do, though, I want to tell you about All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Hey, everybody, ready to see the USA in a new All-Star Chevrolet this summer? Olive Branch has it right here in one place. A new Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban with a third-row seat, new Silverados with April deals that add up to thousands in savings. Financing as low as 1.9. Go big with a new HD Silverado. Make no payment for 90 days because your good credit deserves it. Military, first responders, you always get a $500 bonus. Nobody beats the All-Star Chevy certified and pre-owned selection. Every commercial Chevy truck and cargo van you want is ready to get to work for you and your business today. And all the certified or pre-owned Tahoes, Trailblazers, Silverados, Equinox, and Corvettes. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the work or vacation event. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is coming to the Graceland Soundstage. Saturday, May 9th at 8 p.m. Jason's thunderous drumming recalls one of the greatest to ever sit behind the skins, his late father, John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. This is as close as you will ever get to letting the lead out live. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Get your tickets today at GracelandLive.com.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Volkswagen Driver Days is going strong, and Gossett Volkswagen's got you covered on the pike. Get out here right now and get sporty 2026 Jetta S. We Gossett down just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. How about 2026 Tiguan S? We Gossett $269 a month. Yes, $269 a month for Tiguan S. And if you're looking for performance, style, and technology, look no further than 2026 Atlas SE. We Gossett at $319 a month. Or get 0% for 60 months available. You ready for a new ride? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettBWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, Jetta TM 005137, MSRP 25820, Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32585, Atlas TC 515,398, MSRP 41841, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month, dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Matt Norlander reporting that point guard Keyshawn Tillery, a former top 60 recruit, is committed to play for Wes Miller at Charlotte. Excuse me. So that means Wes Miller, who was fired as the Cincinnati head coach, comes into Charlotte and picks up Jizzle James, who he recruited at Cincinnati, and now gets Keyshawn Tillery. Pretty strong backcourt for Charlotte in the American Conference. We talked about some of these teams losing players like Florida Atlantic, Tulane, and others, South Florida. Charlotte picking up players and a different head coach.
Look out for Charlotte.
Well, maybe in that league, we used to be able to say it's Memphis and it should always be Memphis, and we're still saying that, but last year proved that it's not always that way. It doesn't always work out that way. And maybe there's a team like Charlotte, like Tulsa, that steps up. Tulsa stepped up last year. Maybe it's Charlotte this year.
We got a text from Wayne on the Sissy's Log Cabin listen line 360-8255. He said, unfortunately, government intervention is the only way to rein in the greed that has taken over college football. Well, the thing is,
right, true.
This government committee, and again, it's a bunch of people outside of government that are on the committee, but it's a White House subcommittee. they're not reining in the greed at all. They're saying these are the ways to make more money. That's their whole thing is being tasked with how do we make more money.
Yes,
they've been asked. The Congress has been asked to help with NIL and rein that in. But this committee that has been put together, this has nothing to do with reining in NIL. This is about the playoff, and they're saying, hey, going to 24 games is the way to make more money. So this is not reining in the greed at all. This is actually just adding more greed to the whole thing of, hey, you want more money? Here's how you do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. JM, I've been saying that the Grizzlies need to burn sage, do something, have an exorcism of some sort at FedEx Forum, and maybe change their bad luck. Well, the New York Mets, not the Mets themselves, but some fans of the Mets, they tried to exorcise the demons yesterday. Some of the fans wearing garlic necklaces, burning sage, presiding over what I guess can be described as a ritual cleansing, and then the Mets went out and lost again. 12 straight losses for the New York Mets. They are the first team, let me make sure I have this right. I think they are the first team that had a winning season the year prior to post a losing streak of 12 or more games in April the following year. Yeah, first team to ever do that. You won last year, you had a winning record, you didn't win at all, and you come out in the first month of the new baseball season and lose 12 straight.
Not a proper way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of your last World Series win.
It's their longest losing streak since 2003. Devin Williams is on the way to making himself a very unpopular guy all over the city of New York.
Yeah.
Last year, Yankees get him after he was essentially unhittable for the first however many years of his career at Milwaukee. Was unhittable. Goes to the Yankees, has a bad year. Mets pick him up, had a complete meltdown last night, gets booed off the mound. He's got a 9.95 ERA so far this year. That man is not going to, he's not going to be able to go anywhere in New York pretty soon. He's got Yankees fans that don't like him, and now he's got Mets fans that don't like him. I don't know what you do in New York if both Yankees and Mets hate you.
Yeah, there's only a couple of places I think you could be in a worse situation. That would probably be in Philadelphia or maybe in Boston. But after you ink a 3-year, $45 million deal and you're collapsing as the closer, not good. But New York, yeah, those fans can be a little rowdy as well. No sign yet on ownership threatening Mendoza. The skipper, Carlos Mendoza, still has a job. Same deal in Philadelphia. We talked at the beginning of the show that your Cubs beat the Phillies again, 7-4. The Phillies have lost 7 in a row, but Rob Thompson not on the hot seat amid the skid, according to ownership. The Phillies do get a little help with Zach Wheeler coming back from injury, set to return Saturday versus the Braves. But there have been some real surprises so far this year in baseball with teams struggling the way they are. College football news right here in the good old city of Memphis. Yesterday, for the second straight day, I think it's the second straight day or 2 days out of 3, Charles Huff went out and signed a junior college linebacker, and both from Garden City Community College. The latest yesterday, Jakevi Garnett. Could be Jakevi, Jahkeevi. But again, 2 linebackers. I assume they know each other, teammates maybe, from Garden City Community College, both signed by Charles Huff, which tells me that either one, you're not happy with your linebackers coming out of spring, or you're not happy with the depth of your linebackers coming out of spring.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, and again, if you've got room on your roster with the limits and everything now,
right,
and there's guys out there available, that I'm assume they probably left spots open on the roster, knowing that, hey, after spring, we'll have a better assessment of where things are and where we might need some help, and then with these guys that are still out there, we could go pick up some people and help out depth. And they figured out in the spring that clearly linebacker was a place that was an area of concern for them.
I think it's smart, right, to keep some wiggle room every team should keep wiggle room because you don't know what happens, and then God forbid you have any injuries that happen in the spring.
Speaking of college football news, I know people, the people who were worried about the future of the crappy bowls. Be happy to know the Poinsettia Bowl is coming back next year, and there's a Puerto Rico Bowl being added next year. So we will actually stay at the same number of bowl games for next year that we had this year, despite losing the ever-popular Bahamas Bowl, the LA Bowl, and the Motor City Bowl. The Xbox Bowl, which replaced the Bahamas Bowl, is going to hang around, and they're adding the Poinsettia Bowl, making its return, and the Puerto Rico Bowl. So these 5 and 7 teams will still have a place to go. So the worry about the bowl system disintegrating, clearly exaggerated.
There's not going to be a test on this, is there? I mean, that's just like my head hurts from hearing that. Returning bowls leave, bowls change names.
I'm just wondering who's going to come up with another bowl next.
Oh, there's business people out there thinking if we can make money. Now, you can't always make money, right? But ESPN owns a lot of the bowls. They own, what do they own, like a third of them or even more than that? ESPN? For programming. They have bowls. How long had the Poinsettia Bowl been out of operation?
I think 2016 was the last one, if I remember correct from the story.
I'm pretty good at this stuff, but man, if you told me that the Poinsettia Bowl didn't happen last year, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought Poinsettia Bowl was a bowl last year. The return of the Poinsettia Bowl. All right, good stuff. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got one segment to go. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com. Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
K4 number TE303634, MSRP 25220, Sportage T7271780, MSRP 31865, Sorrento TG455356, MSRP 34655, Telluride VGO 24542, MSRP 44380, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance with KFA, excludes tax title license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/26.
Hey, Mid-South, I've got Jeff Allen on the line over at Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. What's the scoop, dude?
How about this, Randy? 2025 Kia K4 LXS, $205 a month. 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX, $297 a month. 2025 Kia Sorrento LX, $338 a month. Plus a 2027 Kia Telluride S only $3.99 a month. All 24-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Well, it don't get better than that, Jeff. Plus, all 2026 EV9s get $12,000 off or 0% available. And they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So Eli was talking before the break about the bowl games, couple coming in, couple going out, and it all evens up in the end. But what drives me crazy, and it's understandable because they sign contracts with corporations and then contract runs out, they don't renew, they got to get a new sponsor. But the ever-changing sponsors' names in these bowl games. I'm just looking at the bowl games we just had. 25 season bowl games that happened in December and January. And, it's very rare to see a bowl game without a sponsor. New Orleans Bowl. I guess the city of New Orleans sponsors that one, but no real corporate name affiliated with it. I'm not even sure if they've had it in the past. They may have. But I'm going to hit you with a couple, see if you remember these. The Boca Raton Bowl has a sponsor. You know who it is?
I do not.
Again, subject to change, I guess, for the 26th season. It's Bush's Baked Beans. It's the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. What the hell?
I don't associate Florida with beans, but okay.
I believe the New Orleans Bowl used to be, I think, was it an
That's
R&L
right,
Carriers?
RL Carriers. That's very good. It might have been when Memphis went to that. It may have been R&L Carriers, but you're right. They did have a corporate sponsor. How about this one? Do you know what the Military Bowl's sponsor is?
No.
Go Bowling. Bowling, I guess, sponsors the Military Bowl. How about Pinstripe Bowl?
New Era.
Bad Boy Mowers.
Oh, that's Bad Boy.
It was New Era.
It was New Era.
Time,
They replaced it. That's right. It was the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Yeah,
it was replaced by Bad Boy?
Bad Boy has replaced it.
How about Fenway Bowl?
I probably would have guessed Bad Boy Mowers on that one.
Wasabi Fenway Bowl. How about this one? This is an odd one. This used to be, I think, Barstool. Who is the sponsor of the Arizona Bowl? This past year. I don't know if he will be for the next one.
This past year was Snoop Dogg.
It was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. How about, there's some of these are just like, Birmingham Bowl, J-Lab. What is that? J-Lab Birmingham Bowl.
That's, they make earbuds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Independence Bowl. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. It just rolls off the tongue. How about the Music City Bowl? It's an insurance company.
LeBron.
It's an insurance company.
What if LeBron came in and that's just like Snoop did the holiday? He's going to start sponsoring the Music City Bowl. I don't know what insurance
Liberty
company's
Mutual.
base is there.
Liberty Mutual. Here's a couple. You should get this one. The Sun Bowl.
Is it still Tony the Tiger?
It is. It's Tony the Tiger. Some of the big boys you should know. The Cotton Bowl.
It's Goodyear, right?
It's Goodyear.
Or Goodyear.
It is Goodyear. How about the Orange Bowl? You see all these commercials now with Charles
Capital One.
Capital One.
I almost said FedEx, but that's taking it back 30 years.
Sugar Bowl. They've been around a long time with the Sugar Bowl. It's in another insurance company.
That's Allstate.
Allstate, very good. And then this one, I probably would have gotten it wrong if you asked me. The Rose Bowl presented by, again, another insurance company. It's like all these insurance companies.
Theirs is presented by...
I'm impressed if you get this one.
The General?
No, not the General. Prudential.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Some of these other ones have been around for a while.
Because it used to be
City.
Yeah,
Bank used to do the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know that. I knew it was one of those.
You know who's very fortunate?
I was going to say Capital One, but
yeah, it's Capital One Orange Bowl. You know who's very fortunate? The bowl right here. Steve and Harold and all the gang over at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to have AutoZone. AutoZone's been around for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Been around for a while. But again, always, the ever-changing, not only do the bowl games change, the sponsorships of the bowl games change.
I remember going to Dollar General one day, and their bowl game was on, but I go in, they don't even have bags. Like, how y'all got a bowl game, but you don't have bags for your customers?
All those dollars add up, I guess, but they don't want to give it to the customers.
We got a text from Julius. He says, the Titans are building a new multi-billion-dollar stadium. And 20 years after the grand opening, they'll be making plans to tear it down and build a new stadium.
Probably
in the
NFL,
so. Yeah, I mean, you think about just the NFL right now. Obviously, we know the Titans are getting one. The Bears are still deciding where they're going to put theirs. They'll be building one.
But they had a deadline.
The Chiefs are building one. The Bills have theirs that's opening up this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the other than Lambeau, the old stadiums are being replaced.
Yeah, because we had a bunch that's just opened within the last decade or so too.
I mean, you've got to keep up in the NFL because I've not.
The Superdome, which is what, Caesars? Is it Caesars?
Yeah.
That's been around for a while now.
And then I think I've seen the Falcons playing like 4 different venues in my lifetime.
Right. But now their dome is relatively new. I think. Yeah. Well, but the Superdome's been around for a while.
Yeah. And one
Lambeau, as you said.
One of the things they do is they'll promise you Super Bowls if you build new stadiums. They'll make sure you get one. Well, New Orleans gets the Super Bowl anyway. They don't have to build a new stadium. They just
Super Bowl.
Plus, obviously, they had I don't know how many renovations they've done on that through the years.
You get the Super Bowls, Final Fours, and then that's when WWE calls. They want to put the WrestleMania in there too.
But yeah, the shelf life of these stadiums. I mean, if it's not building a new one, it's at least doing some massive renovation of the current thing that you have in order to keep up with whatever by that time in 20 years from now, who knows? Like it'll
probably be a new run of them.
You'll have like drones that will carry you to your seat or something. You don't have to go upstairs anymore. I don't know what they'll have. Who knows what that'll be by that time.
Cam Memphis just promised to build a stadium. Don't have a team, but we'll build a stadium. Can we get a Super Bowl?
Hey.
Is it possible? Nope, you don't have enough hotel rooms. You can't have a damn Super Bowl. College baseball last night, the Memphis Tigers losing streak ends at 5. They lost to number 15 Mississippi State, but played them toe-to-toe. It was 2-2, I believe, going into the 6th or 7th. It was 3-2 going into the bottom of the 8th. Mississippi State scored a few more, end up winning that game 6-2. Yeah, I'm trying to look up real quick here. I know we're against the clock. But how long these stadiums, I mean, which ones are old stadiums?
The ones being replaced, Soldier Field, Arrowhead.
But what would be what
Lambeau,
would next be in
not
line?
Being replaced. Lambeau, they're not going to ever replace Lambeau. They'll just continue to do renovations on it.
I think Lambeau will be the only one in the NFC North that's not going anywhere.
Here you go, Gillette Stadium. 2002.
About 25 years for them, yeah.
And that's
but also
usually
they've done massive renovations.
Yeah. Well, they've also done, haven't they done a lot in the Dolphins one, which has changed renovations a million times.
Yeah, they got a brand new deal anyway.
It has been Sun Life, Landshark, Dolphin Stadium, Pro Player Park / Stadium, and Joe Robbie Stadium.
Again, they know in Miami they're getting Super Bowls even without a new stadium.
Yeah.
That's right.
You don't
Legacy Super Bowl host.
Is that all the same stadium though, or is it a different stadium? I know they had the Orange Bowl where they played. Yeah, 87 to present time. So that stadium's been around a long time. But like you said, putting in millions and millions for renovations. As far as any other of the old ones, I'm trying to see here. MetLife has been 2010. The one in Baltimore, I can't believe it's 2003. M&T Bank Stadium. Like Camden Yards, I was there when they built it, and I covered the first game at Camden Yards. Now Camden Yards, so nice, still very, very nice. It's become an old baseball stadium. Yeah. And M&T came afterwards. Synergy Field in Cincinnati. Wait a minute, there's no way. Is that no, it was Riverfront from 70 to 99. Then it was Synergy Field. So that's been around since 1999. So that's starting to get up there as well.
Fleet Feet, the place to go to get all your running gear. Go see the folks at either one of their 2 locations, and they'll take a look at the way you run or the way you walk and fit you with shoes that are just right for you, plus all the other gear that you need. They have it for you. You can go see them either in East Memphis in the Laurelwood Shopping Center or out in Collierville at Poplar Newson Levy next door to the Hueys out there. Either one of those 2 locations, they will take good care of you, making sure you get shoes that are just right for you. Plus, you can get involved in their group runs and other things that they do to keep up with what's going on in the running community. Head to FleetFeetMemphis.com or follow them on social media. It's all about the runners. It's all about the running community with the folks at Fleet Feet.
2 NBA playoff games tonight. The Pistons host the Magic, trying to even the series. They're an 8.5-point favorite in Detroit. And Oklahoma City, already up 1-0 on the Suns, a 17.5-point favorite over Phoenix. The money line, if you take Phoenix, is plus 1,100. So basically what they're saying is there's no chance, but we have had 5 of the last 6 playoff games this week, including 3 last night, have all been upsets. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about those 2 games and everything else that's happening in the world of sports. Kerry Miller will join us at 8:25 to talk some Major League Baseball. Our thanks to DeMichael Cole and Teresa Walker for joining us today. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy, for Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston.